Hello and welcome. This is Gray Hughes of Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Huh? It's a house!
There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp.
Huh?
Oh, is that from yesterday? Hold on a second. Screen's gonna go pretty dark here in a second. Alright. There we go. That was from yesterday. I don't even know what it said. Alright, well, I put out the video today of my Ashley Banfield discussion that we had. It was pretty good and got very few views, and nobody shared it, and hardly anybody hit the like button, and it just really didn't make it at all. I don't know why it's like that. It's just, you know, YouTube is just, they reward the certain types of people, and others they couldn't give two shits about. Okay, what are you referring to, Sandy? I thought it was a good video, though. It was a good discussion. I don't, we don't agree on different things. I think that the person went there to remove Nancy Guthrie. So if he went in there and it was going to be an assault, then he already knew that he was going to assault her and then take her out. But either way, he was going to be taking her out of that house. I don't know what you're talking about. I left the part in there about JLR, but I left it in there, and then it turns out, like, later in the evening, there's a document that came out on him. Now, some people say it's this lady that's, has put out a false report before, etc. But, it's pretty serious shit. Yeah, I don't think we agree on a lot of the stuff. I mean, just the timing and whatnot. I mean, maybe we do. Like she said something, like she goes, no, I think he went in the house at 2:12, and I go, well, I mean, that's exactly what I was saying. It wasn't like we disagreed. I just said at 1:47 he removed the camera, and then at 2:12 goes into the house. That's why there's motion there. Well, I don't know if it spices it up. We didn't get in an argument or anything. It was just... Yeah. Yeah, I think it'd be cool. Nobody watches it when I do it, so, I don't know what to tell you. It's one of the worst performing videos that I've had in, like, a year. It's like doing a random cold case and posting it. That's how many people saw it. That's not good. I could tell during the show that it was just going to collapse. Somebody goes, "Oh, great. Hope this one does good." And I go, "No, I already can tell. It's weird. It's very rare when a video randomly picks up later. you can already see the trend, and if it doesn't get to a certain point during the live stream, you just know it's not going to make it. It's just going to be a bust. If I uploaded it tomorrow, it'd probably do better, but then the 2,000 that watched it, that's terrible, Sarge. That's absolutely god-awful views. That should have 10 currently. It doesn't. 2,000 is absolutely terrible. I mean, I have 199. What is it? 190,000 subs, and it has 2,000 views. That's just absolutely terrible. I did ask her. I don't know if she did or not, but. Yeah, I don't know if she did. I asked. I don't know. Confused about what letter? What do you, I don't know how that's disrespectful. I don't know what you mean. Well, no, but no, they're not oversaturated because JLR has like 15,000 idiots watching live, right? And then every other person who puts out a video on the case gets a ton of views, the bigger channels. And mine just, YouTube just doesn't give two shits. They don't promote it. They don't do anything. All right. So I don't know what to tell you, Hey, thanks, Wild Bill Wassman. Man, it's another one of those days starting off where Wild Bill's the guy that goes, "Hey, Gray," everyone else forgot. Yeah, it's just incredible, man. I really don't get it. And then the callers that call in over there, I mean, the things that they throw out are just, it's mind-boggling. And then to pretend that every one of them is really interesting. What was the one that one of them called in about? It was like, God, it was just one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Like, why would you take a 9-second phone call when somebody... What 9-second phone call, first of all? Why would you take a 9-second phone call when your mom's missing? Well, maybe because it's related to your mom's missing? I mean, it's such an easy answer to the question. He couldn't even answer that, but, he did. He also thought it was stupid. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But just tell them it's the dumbest thing in the world. Who cares that there was a 9-second phone call or something? Even if that exists. Hey, thanks, Kim from Rochester. All right, anyways, we're going to do updates. I mean, I know, 2,000 is better than 0, Sarge. I'm just saying that's not very good. Compare it to the views on other videos that I have. I'm the one that makes them, and I know. So, wow, look at that, Sassy Squatch, right out of the chute. It's a challenge. If you get 5 gifted memberships, you'll match 5 by yourself. Pretty cool. All right, let's do the updates here, and then we'll do Nancy Guthrie at the end, or whatever, halfway through. All right, so we were just covering the case last night of, it was James Gracie, a Theta Chi over there in, what was it, the University of Alabama. I happened to be a Theta Chi when I was at University of Oregon. James Gracie. I was thinking it sounded like similar. I was thinking John Wayne Gacy. It's like, oh man. Yeah, so he was over in Spain, in Barcelona. Right over here. Apparently he was staying at an Airbnb right over there. And then he went to this nightclub over here. And then he was hanging out with his friends. And at 3 in the morning, he is seen leaving with his friends left right around that time, and he stayed behind, and then he was seen leaving with somebody, And then something I didn't mention, I don't know if I mentioned it, maybe I read it and just didn't trigger my brain, but they found his wallet floating in the water, but somebody had his cell phone. And, it's just, and then he disappeared. All right, you guys see that up there? We had a challenge up there. We need 3 more gifted memberships. The body of missing University of Alabama student James Gracie, who disappeared on a trip to Barcelona, has been found. Spanish police said Thursday Gracie's family released a statement saying they are heartbroken by the unimaginable loss. The 20-year-old, now it's, apparently it's almost exactly like Riley Strain. It's just, the 20-year-old from Elmhurst, Illinois, was visiting friends studying abroad during his spring break. His family said he disappeared early Tuesday morning after visiting Xoco, Barcelona, a club near the Villa Olímpica. His family said he had been with a group of friends that night, but at home at some point became separated from them and never made it back to where they were staying. Hey, thanks, Michelle H. Crowley, or Crowley 13. Alley Cake, Wild Bill Wassman. We need 1 more. His family said he had been with a group of friends that night, but at some point became separated from them and never made it back to where they were staying. Friends and family said they realized something was wrong when police called to say they found his phone. Remember that one case we covered about, seems like less than a year ago, but it was at a resort, and there was that kind of stocky wrestler looking guy that went out to the beach with the girl, and then she went missing and he came back, and I don't know, they never charged him with anything. I don't know, it's just really strange story. It kind of reminds me of that one too. But hey guys, we got a challenge up there for 5 for 5, and we just need 1 more gifted membership to get to that. Friends and family said they realized something was wrong when police called to say they found his phone. His wallet was later found near the beach. That's... what I was thinking about was maybe he put the stuff down and went swimming. He just was like, hey! And it was warm out or whatever, and he just jumps in the water, and then somebody grabbed his phone when he didn't show up again, and then the wallet, maybe the tide or something, maybe it was, I don't know, they should have been right next to each other, but I don't know. These kind of cases are always hard to believe that they're just... Friends and family said they realized something was wrong when police called to say that they found his phone. His wallet was later found near the beach. Thursday morning, Spanish authorities turned their search efforts to the sea, sending out boats, divers, and drones. The search recovered a body from the water on... okay, here we go. On this beach. Thank you, Sassy Squatch. Yeah, so it was this beach. They actually found the body in this beach somewhere. Or this, right around in this area. And thank you very much, Sassy Squatch, for gifting all those, and for all the other freaks who reached that one challenge. All right, now we're at 1/6, which is better than last night. We were at like 1/30 for a while. I don't know. Yeah, just a weird one. Thursday morning, Spanish authorities turned their search efforts to the sea, sending out boats, divers, and drones. The search recovered a body from the water on Samarastro Beach in front of Xoco nightclub, where he was last seen which police identified as Gracie. A spokesperson said that at this point, everything points to this being an accident and not a criminal act. I don't know. I mean, why though? I mean, I just don't. I don't really get it. I mean, how does somebody have the phone part? If you can really explain that really well, like why this person that you arrested happened to have his phone, then it would make sense. But these people aren't saying anything. The spokesperson said that at this point, everything points to being an accident and not a criminal act. Catalan police said their investigation into Gracie's official cause of death continues. I mean, do they talk to the person he left with? Did she or he or whoever it was say, hey, we went out to the pier and then he went in the water and I just panicked and I ran? I mean, I want to hear something like that. Well, that's what they're saying, that it's accidental. That's what they're saying, Lucy. The search recovered a body from the water. You know, spokesperson said that at this point, everything points to being an accident. Gracie was the oldest of 5 children. I don't really care about that kind of stuff, the background. I just want to get to the factual elements. Authorities in Barcelona say they have found the body of 20-year-old University of Alabama student James Jimmy Gracie, who went missing days ago after visiting a club with a friend. I think they should stop doing the James Jimmy Gracie thing. Just say Jimmy Gracie or James Gracie, right? It actually, for me, every time I hear the 3 words like that, I'm thinking of like the name of a killer. You know, it's just weird. The Catalan police force, Mossos d'Esquadra, confirmed to USA Today in an email on March 19th that the agency found his body around 6 p.m. local time in the water at the beach, just in front of the club where he was last seen. Spanish officials identified the body as Gracie's. I wonder, did they find it in the water because they had a bunch of divers in the water there. Spanish officials identified the body as Gracie's just before 8:45 p.m. Gracie's family called him a kind, responsible, and devoted son and brother. We have made the decision to pause media interviews. The University of Alabama, in a statement to USA Today, that it was heartbroken to learn. Don't forget to mention that it wasn't an official, break. It was just Gracie went out the night on March 16th to Xoco, a club in Barcelona. His mother said he was visiting friends who were studying abroad and was staying in an Airbnb. A friend, this is very similar, you know, the Riley Strain case is like, this is what, I mean, it's almost ridiculously similar. You had, in both cases, you had a bunch of fraternity people together. They go out drinking, and then one of them gets separated, and they wander off and die somewhere. I mean, it's just and remember that case even had the wallet and phone too. I mean, it's really almost creepy. Like if you did a side by side with these 2 cases, Riley Strain and this one, they would be almost to the point of absurdity. You know, I don't think it's like, oh, it's a crazy conspiracy, Mel Stiller. I just think it's kind of what happens sometimes. You know, you go to these resorts, you get drunk out of your mind, maybe, and you do something that you're in an unfamiliar place. You make one bad decision, and it's all over. But hey guys, if you're watching the channel and you have the ability to help support the channel, that would be great with the channel memberships, super chats, etc. I was hoping that the video that I put out today would have had at least some sort of revenue that would have made sense, but it didn't. So I'm sitting here relying on the people watching the show again. So thank you. Investigators looked at the nightclub security camera footage and found that Gracie left the club with someone. I mean, see, isn't that weird right there? Though they aren't sure who the person was, the outlet reported. The witness also told Catalan police he saw Gracie walking toward the beach, according to his mother. So just him by himself, or was that same person with him? Gracie never made it back to the Airbnb. Authorities found Gracie's wallet in the ocean, according to television station WBMA in El Periodico. Catalonian police would not confirm the reports when reached by USA Today. I think I just have one more, the Fox News one. Let's see what that one says. Police confirmed the body of James Jimmy Gracie, 20, of Elmhurst, Illinois, was recovered at Port Olympic in Barcelona, Spain, following his March 17th disappearance. The University of Alabama junior vanished at about 3 a.m. after visiting the waterfront Choco restaurant and nightclub. His mother, Teresa, said her son was with friends, but they got separated. Kevin Macleod, the president of the Alabama Theta Chi fraternity and friend of Gracie, who also made the trip to Spain, told Fox News Digital that Gracie was the chapter chaplain and philanthropy chairman. He was also known for mentoring young brothers. Police in Barcelona recovered Gracie's phone during the arrest of another individual. See, that doesn't bother you guys? Like, that he's seen leaving with somebody else, and then they recover his phone while arresting somebody else, and then, you know, he's dead. He's in the water. I don't know. I mean, I'd be great if this is the case. They need to tell us what the hell they're talking about. You know, I don't know if you guys heard what I just said a minute ago. We need to get the support for the channel up. We're still just at 1.6. After we had that first challenge go, we have had 0. And it's going to make it really tough. We're starting to get into the, you know, half hour in, keep on moving, and then I'm Tony Chapter Chaplain. All right. Hey Jim, let's focus tonight. Let's get on the case. You can do it, man. I know you can do it. Gracie never made it back to the Airbnb at Ronda de Saint-Pere, a central avenue in the city that he had rented with friends, his family said. Yeah, so I guess that's him there. I don't know, man. I'm going to have to wait to see the investigation in this one. I'm not really... I think that just sounds ludicrous to me. That he goes out there and, you know, some other person that they just randomly arrest has his wallet. Well, why did he have his wallet? I mean, and by the way, why did you arrest him? I mean, you arrested him during the time you're looking for Jimmy here. And then somehow he has his I think he has his phone, right? Yeah. You have his phone. This guy. And then his wallet's found in the water. But then there is somebody that said they saw him walking towards the ocean. Did you watch the video, Marty, from earlier? Is that what you're referring to? Yeah, his wallet was found floating in the water, I guess. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. I don't know, Sandy. I'm just trying to do the show. Let's see. What the heck? Oh! There's Marty's Bar and Grill with a very generous attempt there to challenge. Let's see if that can be done. He'll do 10 coffees, which is equivalent to 10 memberships all by himself if we get 10 gifted memberships or equivalent in super chats. No interest in traveling overseas anymore. Didn't someone report he was trying to ransom the phone? I don't know. I never heard that. I never heard that one. Anyways, Marty has a challenge up there, you guys. A 10 for tenner. That'll get us to 50, maybe like 40% or so. Yeah, there's just not really a lot of information on this case. Sandy didn't have one. Hers was just having me try to get rid of something. She got me excited with the look at thing, and then all right, I turned off the reactions. Well, we got Joel Burnt there. There's one. Don't get all too excited. Help support the channel there, you guys. We're trying to get 10 of them. I can't even see it. Sandy Will has a 5 for 5er. How does that work? If we have a 10 for tenner, how do we do a 5? Why don't you do that one after that one, if we ever get to this one. Hey, look at there's Jim Lawn. Now we have 6, so we just need 4 more into that one, and then we'll do Sandy Wills after that. That's a way that we can get really kind of moving forward here. Is that cool, Sandy? So we just need 4 more on this one. Okay, there we go. There's 7 out of 10. It's pretty amazing. Just need 3 more of those. Let's see. And I really appreciate it, guys, with the gifting memberships. Maybe somebody will stay around and we can have. Yeah, it's kind of like a 15 for 15, but Sandy Wills was after Marty's. Man or death, I must have missed it. Yeah, well, they didn't give a man or anything. They just said they don't think it's like a homicide or anything. All right, guys, we need 3 more. See if we can do it. Okay, I'm going to move to the Vitoria Figueiredo case. The other one that actually had a hell of a lot more information on it. Yeah, it's probably just a drowning, but I just think it doesn't make a lot of sense, Lisa, no matter how you want to try to spin it. This isn't one of those ones you can just go, oh yeah, he's just drowned. This is weird as shit. Okay, you got him leaving with a person, and then his phone is found when they arrest some other person. That person had his phone. That just seems weird. Like what? I need an explanation that makes sense for all that. All right, we need 2 more gifted memberships, you guys, to reach Marty's goal. Yeah, maybe. I don't know if she's a drowning or not. I don't know. I'm not sure about hers. Because it looks like she did make it to that island. So this is, you know, different language here, but I think I can... Somebody sent me these. Yeah, it said the image above may represent a new chapter in the search for Brazilian Vitoria Figueiredo, who disappeared in England almost 2 weeks ago. The photo was taken by a resident of the coastal village of Bradwell on Sea in Essex County and shows a person walking from behind, circled in red in the image. The family believes it is Victoria. You know, they also want it to be, but I mean, if you look, I don't know if you can even see that. It's so small. But hey, guys, any chance we can get those last 2 for Marty's challenge? And then we can move on to the next one and let that one sit there for a while, I guess. Yeah, right there. Okay, there's this, but I don't know if that's a dog right there. I don't know what that is. That could just be because there's darkness there too. I don't know what that is. But that's exactly the color of shirt she was wearing, or jacket she was wearing. And they're filming her right there. Let's see. I'm gonna put that in the that folder right there. So what's the hang up on those last 2 gifted memberships, you guys? Trying to reach our goals tonight. Yeah. So you see this person with the gray jacket and everything. And that looks exactly how... Hey, look at that Sarge right there. That equals 2 right there. It doesn't have to be memberships. All right, we got a joke right out of the chute by Sarge. All right. He said, hold on. A preacher said, the Bible mentions everything a man has to deal with. The guy answers, oh yeah? What about PMS? The preacher reads from his Bible and Mary rode Joseph's ass all the way to Bethlehem. Okay. All right. You know, the donkey. You get it? Yeah. Anyway. All right. That was a pretty good one. Yeah, so if you look at this picture here, well, I mean, let's just, I guess, people, if you don't even know what case we're talking about, we can go take a look at that. We mapped this one out pretty good yesterday. All right, so Sandy Will 63 has a challenge too. It's a 5 for 5-er. Huh? What's happening? Sent a... Okay. Who are you, 77? Pretty reckless. Who the hell are you? You're just sitting there staring at the... Somebody check that account out, would you? Hey, thanks, Allie Cake. I always think it's weird when people are so focused in on what each individual's doing. Those are the ones that are creepy as shit, hanging out in the chats, you know. Thanks, Allie Cake and Wild Bill Wassman, and thanks, Sandy Shirley. Earlier. And Wild Bill Wassman, as always, up above, right there. And then also Marty's Bar and Grill. Thank you. Yeah, so remember this one. She was over here. She was hanging out, or like, it was some weird stuff with their friend. Their friend tried to talk to her. She wouldn't talk, and she brought her friends to watch the ducks and then wanted to talk, but she goes, no, just watch the ducks. It was really weird stuff. And then took a bus from here all the way down into, let's see, what would you call, it was Colchester, Essex. And then all the way down into I think it's called Brighting Sea. And then apparently got off a bus right over here, and then, like, I don't know, hour later or so, made it down to this area, walking around. And then apparently she came in through here somewhere, hopped over some fences, and then got on to, you know, went into this area over here. And then what they're saying is that she got on a dinghy and then maybe floated to another place. Looks like we need 3 more up there. We got another challenge, a 5 for 5er from Sandy Will. The photo was taken by a resident of the coastal village of Bradwell-on-Sea in Essex. The investigation suggested that the Brazilian woman may have boarded a boat at a shipyard in Brightling Sea on March 4th, one day after she was last seen. The vessel was later found adrift with 1 life jacket missing. Essex police are continuing their search, and on Monday, March 16th, launched a portal to receive information about the Brazilian woman. On Sunday, family and friends of Vitoria retraced the boat route she would have taken. Little by little, the police have been finding clues that may help in the investigation into the disappearance of the Brazilian woman. On Saturday, March 14th, they found Vitoria's laptop. Yeah, so that was recently they found that. And so let's take a look at this picture here. Yeah, I mean, you look at that here. I mean, that one doesn't quite look, you know, it's hard to tell the coloring, but I've seen other ones where it looks almost the same. Just a second, I'm looking through the folder. Yeah, let's look in this Daily Mail. See, when you look at the coloring there, see that's sort of a green, a lighter green. I'm not sure if that's maybe the same jacket there. I'm just looking for a picture now. Oh yeah? Well, thanks, Marty. I didn't see the other one, but maybe it comes later. I don't know. I see the first one there. I think it's the one that she's standing on the street that, maybe it's in this one. Cheryl Bullock. Hey, thank you. It's like, man, you're so much later than normal. All right, you got that one. Yeah, it's weird how lighting makes things look totally different. Let's see. I think they had in this press conference different shots.
I'm detecting a tote bag. Locate the missing network. Evenly
for Johnny 6 places. Want to find out problem. We just want her.
She met in Boundary Road, Wivenhoe, just after 1 p.m.
Now, see, that jacket and everything right there is exactly the same color.
Later, in Belfield, she was then seen on doorbell footage in the Hurst Green area of Brightlingsea, shortly after 2:30 p.m. At that time, Victoria was wearing a dark coat, a blue turtleneck jumper, light blue jeans, and dark trainers with white.
I wonder if she changed
soles.
jackets sometimes.
She was also carrying a white shoulder tote bag with the words "People over profit."
Yeah. So what do you guys think? Do you think that picture is her? This one? I mean, you know, of course it's from behind and everything like that, but it is on the correct island, correct place. Let's go look at that. Apparently, so right over here, it's about 6 miles away. I wonder if there's a way to figure out where that is. I wonder if that's just like right over here. That'd be crazy if it was just right in the town, right where you'd think too, right? I think we still need, oh, there's Sandy Will. There you go. Hey, thank you. And thanks, Marty. Like it's going to be over here, almost like you're walking in that field. But I don't know, is there any street views down in here? Let me just go here for a minute. You gotta admit, like, these are such cool looking, these towns like this, they're just, it's amazing. I remember I went to Ireland one summer for a golf. It's like a 10-day golf trip back in like 2000. And man, there's a city called Killarney that's just so, or a town. I could just live there. It was amazing. Everybody's so nice. You know, there's a culture in Ireland too. You know, everybody sings the same beer drinking songs, and yeah, it's just a totally different deal there. Hey, thank you, Adrian. So I see those. I don't know if that's over here. Like there's a mountain range in the background, but the camera is probably making it look different. Such a small little town here. And I think that's the town that they're talking about. This is Bradwell on the Sea. That's what this little area is here. So it's definitely here. And it looked like a row of homes. And I was kind of thinking maybe right here, you know. And maybe there's certain times of year where this is green. Let's check it. Let's take a look. Well, that's March 2022. That kind of looks like that. And then look at, there's an orange roofed house there. I see that one. Is there a little shed, smaller looking thing? Yeah, I mean, there's little sheds there. I don't know how tall, if that's like a hedge of trees or just trees. You know, I don't know. Definitely looks like that could be the spot. Doesn't it? Let's see what happens if I go here. And thanks, Sandy Will, again. Okay, that one, that right there seems like the best chance in this little town here. Just given the fact that there's a field that they're in. What about those orange things? So let's see, there's one, probably 2, 3, and then now there's a telephone line right there. Maybe that we can figure that out. Yeah, that looks like that might be a telephone. Possibly, I don't know what that is, if it's just the angle or probably not. That looks like a fence or something. But right here, there's a shadow. That would be next to the orange house. I don't know if that's what that is. Can we go over there on this little... No. Yeah, we're just lucky there was any... Oh, there is a telephone pole right there. And there's obviously another line further down. Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna put a pin in there. Pretty certain, you know, I can't really say 100%, but it's really the only place in this town that has those row of homes like that, and with a field accompanying it. So I'm gonna say that she's seen walking, or, you know, a person looking similar walking here. And what were they doing? Doesn't seem very likely that they're still alive, or I mean, what's happened on all these days since? I mean, what date was that image taken, by the way? Yeah. Did you see anything which made you stop and think or something? Yeah, we listened to that. Let me get out of here, out of that. I was just looking for images. We're going to go look at those other articles that were sent over. All right, got a these are in where's she from again? Brazil. I think that's in Portuguese or something. Translate to English. Items such as the Brazilian woman's passport, cards, and cell phone remain missing. Vitoria Figueiredo Barreto, a 30-year-old psychologist from Sierra, has been missing since March 3rd. The computer of a psychologist, Vitoria Figueiredo Barreto, who has been missing for 2 weeks in England, was accessed by English police this Monday, the 16th, with the help of passwords provided by the family of the woman. The information was passed on by family and friends who are... How did the family have her passwords? Who are directly following the investigation conducted by Essex Police. I don't think anybody... Does anybody know your password to get onto your computer? Let's see.
I do, Gray. I give my password to everybody, you bastard.
The information was passed on by family and friends who are directly following the investigations. Was passed on. The information was passed on. Okay. Last Friday, Sierra Court accepted a request from Vitoria family to break the bank and telephone secrecy of the Brazilian woman. The public ministry of her issued a favorable opinion on the request before the judicial decision. So maybe they want to see if she's out there still doing, buying things. I mean, she could easily be staying in a hotel over there. People just aren't really focused in on it. Who knows, right? And there's Wild Bill Wassman breaking the silence. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. As reported by British police, Vitoria's notebook was found this Saturday in the coastal city of Brightlingsea, where she passed through after leaving the University of Essex on March 3rd. Authorities confirmed passed through, like it was just, Authorities confirmed that the device belongs to the Brazilian. According to family members, police access will allow specialized teams to analyze the information accessed by the device used by Vitoria. This is translated, so it's probably not perfect. Which may provide new clues about her movement before and after the disappearance. Items such as Vitoria's passport, cell phone, and credit card have not yet been found. I have a feeling she might still be alive. Her. What do you guys think? I think people are seeing her. I mean, I don't know how she got on that boat to that island, though. That just seems so random. I mean, couldn't the boat have just floated out and into the, ocean? I mean, she's right there, and then she just somehow makes it over here when, if it just the current was the wrong way, she's out here somewhere. I don't know how she moved around, but I just feel like she might still be alive. In the current phase of the search, police have teams concentrated in the Brightlingsea and Bradwell-on-Sea areas, including investigating unconfirmed leads from people who claimed to have seen Vitoria in the areas. She's almost like Bigfoot now. There's a sighting of somebody wearing a jacket. Through this tool, the public can report if there is the dinghy missing from the boat. So what does that mean? Does that mean when she originally got there, she was close to shore, but didn't, jumped out and swam, or maybe she took it with her. The disappearance of Sierra-born psychologist Vitoria Figueiredo in England has mobilized police, volunteer, family members, and the international community. So far, investigations indicate that the Brazilian woman took at least one bus and 2 boats since leaving the University of Essex on the afternoon of March 3rd. Originally from Fortaleza, Victoria has been outside of Brazil since January. When she participated in a congress and 2 courses of Morocco. Afterwards, she arrived in England. Her intention was to participate in scientific activities and pursue a doctorate. On the day of her disappearance, Victoria had lunch with her friend at a place near the university. The 2 were supposed to meet again in the late afternoon, but the woman didn't show up. The psychologist, she didn't show up. The psychologist from Sierra has extensive curriculum in the field and international experience. Lillian states that Vitoria... I don't want to do it, Bengal. I'm doing something else. Thanks, though. Let's see. On the day of her disappearance, Vitoria had lunch with her friend at a place near the university. The 2 were supposed to meet again in the late afternoon, but the woman from Sierra didn't show up. The psychologist from Sierra has an extensive curriculum in the field and international experience. Lillian states that Vitoria, who dreamed of perhaps one day becoming a student at the University of Essex, was not well before her disappearance. Like there was something wrong with her mentally. I'll take a look at it. Hey, don't worry about it, Karen. Don't worry about it. I just want to cover what we're talking about right here. And as soon as you bring that up, it's going to be a whole conversation about something else. That's why I just get really frustrated sometimes. It's just... I just kind of want to stick to what we're doing here. Essex police were notified of the case on March 4th. Victoria's mother and boyfriend traveled to England and are following the developments of the investigation. Yeah, I'll check it out later. Just send me the email. I always look at your emails, Bengal. You don't need to come in here and hey, check it out, man. Let's cover that really quick. I don't know anything about it. I have it on my thumbnail what I'm going to be talking about. And if there's time at the end, we'll go check it out. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Hey, thanks, Sandy Will. Hold on, I'm going to check this one account out. That's a little dodgy. I'm trying to figure out who this Pretty Reckless is. They never comment at all, but they just seem to be, whenever they do, it's always some kind of it's weird, strange stuff. I have pretty good intuition. In a statement issued on March 5th, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs reported that it's monitoring the case through the Brazilian Consulate General in London. According to the agency, the consulate is in contact with local authorities and the Brazilian woman's family, providing consular assistance. The Brazilian Ministry of Foreign Affairs also stated that consular actions comply with Brazilian and international law due to privacy concerns. So anyways, I don't know. Just sounds like I think they think she might have made it over there. Don't you think it's a little weird that the dinghy, they must have that on camera, that it's floating out there or whatever at a certain time right when she's there. And then they have people saying they see somebody over there that looks similar to that. Hey, thanks, Lori Fisher. All right. Well, I've been thrown off of what we were doing. It's just like deflating. All right. Well, we're gonna switch over to what we were going to be talking about. 2 is some updates and whatnot, and the Guthrie case, and then you guys can, if you want to call in or whatever, you can try that. I was trying to do something new with this. Using Google Voice or something, but I don't know. Come on, Jim. You can just try one night, right? Where we just it's just normal stuff. You can do it, man. You can do it. Yeah, I mean, she sounds like she's got a mental problem, but I think she might have got on the boat and made it there. I mean, there's people that said that they saw her over there. And there's that picture that we just looked at, that person's wearing the same color jacket that has a hood on it, walking around. It could be anybody, but it's right in the same exact spot where that's boat, not bode. Yeah. All right, let's see. Good night, Crowley 13. Yeah, we're currently at about 60% of a goal, you guys, so remind me of that guy who ran off the airport. Right. Poor lady from Brazil is really mentally suffering. I pray she's alive. All right, here is the what we have over here today. So this is right up Ashley Banfield's alley here. Under fire, Nancy Guthrie sheriff takes more trips to the gym in his convertible than work visits as case grinds to a halt. It is kind of weird, just I don't know. The garrulous Arizona sheriff, who has failed to find Savannah Guthrie's missing mother, has been spending more days pumping iron at the gym than at his desk. Oh, yeah, I can give you a hey Yama. Where is that? It's somewhere around here.
Hey Yama, hey Yama.
Well, I don't mind if they're just the joke things that we were doing, just the random comments in there. Sometimes we're talking about something serious and you're you know, cracking jokes that don't really work. You know, it's there. Like when we have the downtime and people are sending in the super chat jokes, that was pretty cool. I like that. You know, when Sarge sent that in, or last night we had people sending in those. Those are cool. But we're having a really one of those another little slogging along nights. We have good moments, but let's see. Chris Nanos, the embattled chief lawman of Pima County, leading the hunt for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, was spotted at his office in Tucson just twice for a leisurely 7 hours a day between Friday. A leisurely 7 hours a day between Friday and Tuesday. Man, that's just totally nitpicking. You don't know what the hell he was doing. You know, you see how that's just crazy? He was spotted at his office in Tucson just twice for a leisurely 7 hours a day. Well, 8's a full day, right? But you also don't know what the hell he did when he left each time. Or when he was doing before he got there. Now, Nancy, meanwhile, has been missing for 46 days, with Nanos and his deputies having yet to identify a suspect or otherwise meaningful lead. So because of lack of information, let's just keep attacking the hell out of the sheriff. You know, because if it wasn't for him, this case would be solved already. This guy is a... Now, the 70-year-old Democrat... throw that in. That's right, you know what? I hate this guy now. Yeah, I get it now. Man, this guy's a pile of crap. Do you see that right there? It says right there, the 70-year-old Democrat. That's funny that that's even in the article. What does it have to do with anything? It all makes sense now. Oh, there we go. And don't worry, you guys, if you're a Democrat out there, I don't dislike you. It's just a joke.
Gray, I'm never watching again. I come here for true crime, not politics, you bastard.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. 70-year-old Democrat who at first charmed America with his tearful pleas for help, only to begin to contradict himself through public interviews as the case began to languish. Hit the gym 4 times during the 5-day period. Well, maybe for 40-something days he's been sitting around doing nothing, and it's not good for his health. I mean, he is 70 years old. Maybe it's good for him to get out to, you know, do a couple things at the gym, you know? He has been cruising out of his, let's see. He has been seen cruising out of his $850,000, I guess, manse. Maybe they meant mansion. I don't know. In a gated community on the outskirts of Tucson in his flashy, newer model Corvette Stingray. Yeah, I mean, it's just the look is shitty. Like when he went to that basketball game. It's white, the same color as his hair for his roughly 90-minute workouts. The floundering Democrat has been under the microscope for his handling of the Guthrie case, including criticism that he has been sending the wrong messages to the public about the case. Yeah, I don't know how he's got that much. That's kind of weird. He's also been panned for releasing Nancy Catalina Foothill's home as a crime scene too quickly. Yeah, that was stupid. And I thought it was even, you know, how about leaving that little doormat there? That's kind of dumb. I mean, especially the moment they saw that there was surveillance there, they should have grabbed it. Crime scene too quickly in the early days of her disappearance, using a private DNA analysis company instead of working more closely with the FBI, and not deploying critical resources like a search plane or cadaver sniffing dogs. But hey guys, we still need your help on this channel tonight. We are, just, not even close to the goal tonight. So if you guys have the ability, probably need 2 more challenges or so to get there. And if we can do that, we'll get there, and maybe I can donate 5 myself. But we're currently at, let's see, 24 memberships away. That's how far away we're at. Yeah, he hasn't anything to do with the crime, KK, so you can just be just saying and all this stuff. It just doesn't... the thing about this is this has no relevance whatsoever to figuring out what happened in the case. It's just sort of this is just like the side story that everybody's talking about now. Ooh, let's find a boogeyman. Yeah, wow. I mean, so we're eventually going to lead to where people start saying that Nanos somehow has something to do with the case to pump up his television show that he was doing. And he's going to come out one day and boom, he's got the answer. Why, Jason? Why do you care so much, man? I don't really care that much about that. Yeah, I mean, she did a couple times where she sort of worded things where it was complete, like as if to say my thought wasn't very good or something. But it's I don't know if that was intentional or just the way it is, Yeah, like I don't think going out the door, the side by side thing has any relevance at all. You open a door, it's wide. You can be right next to her as she's going out the door to the right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have it here anymore. I don't have the video. It's okay, I don't really care. Thanks, Alley Cake. I was trying to be better at listening. That's one of my issues too. Sometimes I want to interject. But this time I was just trying not to intentionally just, try to let people say what they're saying. They want to say. But yeah, I mean, I think my timeline in theory is really, and what I think, I think it's really close to like what happened. And nobody knows for certain because they haven't given us a ton of information, but I think what I'm saying makes sense. The 147, like, I mean, I don't look to disagree for the sake of disagreeing with somebody. I don't do that. But at 147, you see the picture of the guy there, and to me, like I said, I remember when I said, "Hey, yeah, 147." I think that's what we're seeing on the camera right around the time. And then she said, "Well, we just don't know. I mean, that could be here. Yeah, of course, it could be this and it could be that. Okay, I'm telling you what the more likely thing is." What the heck? And Marty said he'd match the next 20 gifts, you guys. That's crazy. Really, Marty? Well, thank you. That'd be amazing. So Marty said he'd match the next 20 gifts. So this is a great time for you guys to, do some good giftings of memberships. Super chats count too, though. Okay, so if somebody does 5, that's 1. All right, let's see if we can do it, you guys. It's our opportunity to reach the goal. Look at that. There's Sandy Will. There's Wild Bill Wassman. Let's do it. Here we go. There's Sandy Will. There's Sandy Will. There's Wild Bill Wassman. Wild Bill Wassman. Who's next? Who's next? Who's next? Who's next? Who's next? Who's next? Who's going to do the next one? We need 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. We need another super dad. We need some more Get the Channel memberships. And not a 1. I think it does make the most sense. I think it's weird when, for me it's like this. Okay. Yes, the guy has his backpack on and he's got the balaclava on. He's ready to go, right? So of course, when he's messing around with the camera, that's right around the time that it was disconnected. He hadn't disconnected it yet that we're looking at. It's just I think right after that. That makes sense to me. It could be 10 minutes before, whatever. It's right around that time frame is when that person is removing the front door camera. I don't have any, for me it's like 99%. All right, guys, look at that. We got Sandy Will and Wild Bill Wassman. So we can get 18 more gifted. Marty will match it, if you can believe that. That'd be amazing. All right, so 147, he removes it. And then, well, what does he do next? I thought it was kind of interesting on Megyn Kelly today. Was it her? Somebody was saying, No, actually, it wasn't her show. I can't even remember it, but it wasn't. It was a different person. But at this point, we only know that there's one person involved. If people are saying there's 2, you're guessing. Okay? We know that there's 1 because that's all we've seen. If there's another, show me the evidence, the proof that there's another person. Well, Gray, he has a walkie-talkie. We'll prove that's a walkie-talkie. So you can't base something on something you can't even prove what the hell it is, right? I don't know what that means, Sandy. A sentence like that. That doesn't even make sense. He had the right of his timeline. He can be gracious here. What? What does that mean? What does that mean? Does anybody know what that means? I just... Thanks, Jim Long. So like I said, 147 is removed. Then the person would have been like, okay, once I remove this, did this set off anything? Yeah, maybe that's a scanner they're looking at. Maybe they go over to their car and they wait for 15, 20 minutes. Doesn't that make sense? Why would you disrupt a camera and then go right into the house when you know it might take a while when you're in there? You just wouldn't do that. You're going to wait and see if somebody shows up. And maybe they drove away and drove around. Maybe they didn't park down a side street. They drove, and then later they came back, and as I said before, and pulled in at like 2:07. They parked right in front of the house. Then they get out of the house and they walk around. Then they jump over the fence, and maybe another day, or the 212 is them breaking the light there. They just didn't know that camera was up there. So they break the light, and then they go inside the home. And who knows what they were doing out there? I don't know. But man, you guys, if we get 20 gifted memberships, we're going to get it matched, you guys. So that's a great time to help support the channel. It's a 2-for-1 for you guys. I just don't care that much about those kind of details. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we went over that in another show. It's a radio, has the same signal, when you turn it on, it can have the same effect. There was no jamming going on, you guys. The video on the front door was crystal clear. It just missed portion because it was written over. Yeah, well, that's what he was doing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I thought I don't know. I don't think I'd be more clear in my, when I show the video, like you got the car, here he comes. He goes inside the house over here, and not inside the house. He goes up there and he removes the camera from the front door. Then after that's removed, he knows he's going to be parking right there. So he goes away. Now, where he went and all that, I'm just throwing out a random thing, and I don't have any idea where he parked, etc. We know he parked somewhere, and then he makes it back, and then he probably just waits over here for 20 minutes or so, and then eventually he just kind of drives away. I'm not, like he's away, and then he drives back to the scene, and then he pulls into the driveway here. See that? And then he's going to park right exactly where, if you, I'll just pause it right there. If you go back to the camera, that car you'd see it. Like if there was nobody here, you'd see it. Man, you guys, this is disappointing. This is a huge help tonight. If we can get the 20 gifted memberships, we'll get it matched. And then we'll have made it past the goal. And then I'll donate 5 myself. So we get... it's the only way to do it. So if 17 more of you gifted 1 channel membership, we'd do it. Or if 1 did 5, 3 did 5, and 2 did 1. Let's see. Nancy Guthrie. I have the picture somewhere in here. I'm going to have to go look for it. It's not there. No, you're not blocked, Sarge. We can see you. Yeah, so basically, look at this picture right there. This is one I created. If this camera was... they've already gone inside the house, and they didn't remove this camera, that car is right there. I mean, it would be so visible in the scene. Hey, thanks so much there. I'm essential. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. That's 5. So what does that mean? 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're at 12 more. That'd be sweet. Right? So he removed the camera absolutely intentionally because he knows he's going to be parked right there. Right, Bengal Cat? He said... Where is it? Technically, I don't know if you can see. Yeah, it's hard to see. But anyways, after he got out of the car, he walks around the side of the house. And then he jumps over a fence here, I think. It's really easy. And then, boom, that light right there, that camera picks him up. And then he goes inside the house. Maybe he just gets rid of the light there. And he could have got rid of it, like Ashley was saying. Maybe he needed to turn it off so he could try to get inside the house without being bright outside. And maybe that would keep the, I don't know. He didn't even know that camera was there. And then after he gets Nancy out of the house and into the vehicle there that was parked, and the reason that the camera was removed, and then driven away. All right, this is Bengal Cat Chili's comment. He said, technically, a walkie-talkie could be used as a crude jammer. I think we were saying this the other night. If it was 2.4 gigahertz, walkie can be 5 to 10 watts. Yeah, what they were saying is like if you had not a radio, I can't remember what the term was, but it was on the same frequency and you turned it up, it would screw up the Wi-Fi signals for the cameras, blow them out. It's like it's too strong for that. All right, guys, we need 12 more. So if you guys can do that, that would be fantastic. But it would certainly help out since the video that I recorded, prepared for, uploaded, absolutely crashed right out of the chute. So if you guys can help support the channel, that would be awesome. We need 12 more gifted memberships. And there is Bad Wheels. Thank you. I mean, I think if you just use common sense in the case. I mean, we've talked about it. Like, it is possible that she was assaulted. We even did a whole show where we went over newspaper articles. That she was sexually assaulted and the person knew that they had to remove her body because that would lead right to them. But I don't know, man. 15 minutes. He's got the backpack on, the balaclava, all that stuff. I don't know. Just sort of seems like there was some other motivation. I mean, 15 minutes is a long time, but just... I didn't know what she was saying. Yeah, I just didn't know what you were saying, Sandy, up there. That's what I was telling you. I have no idea what your sentence meant. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Oh, do you write again? I didn't see any of your follow-up comments. Hey, Sandy, don't make it into some issue in here where you're, starting to create arguing and like nobody. I just didn't know what you were saying. I read it 4 times. Gray had the right of his timeline. He can be gracious here. I do not know what that means, man. I still don't know what it means. That's all I was saying. I was just trying to get you to rewrite it or something. I don't know what to tell you. Did you rewrite it again? Let's see. That's my feeling, Gray, as well. Gray had the right of the timeline. The right of this timeline. Man, I don't know, man. I just don't know what you were saying, Sandy. That's it. What do you mean? What can you say it again, just differently? Please? Just try a whole new way of saying it. Where Banfield didn't make sense was saying the family didn't fully believe. How come you keep repeating that, Jason, over and over again? I mean, they might not have fully believed, but they were. Let's just say, how do we know they fully believed it was a ransom person, but they couldn't not do it? I just can't. I can't fight it, Sandy. I've looked for it. I don't have time to dig around. It was never explained. I went and I just read up there exactly where you said you explained it, and I can't find it. If you do it again, I'd probably be able to read it. Why do I know what a balaclava is? Because we've covered like 10 cases that have it in them. My timeline was right. Yeah. I mean, I sort of, but what about the rest of it? Gray had the right of this timeline. He can be gracious here. About what? I mean, I just don't understand the whole gist of anything about it. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's just, my lack of getting jokes, whatever it is, but I just don't know what it means. And another person that doesn't type at all and then shows up to give me what it means. Hey, there's Wild Bill Wassman. All right. Where Banfield didn't make sense was when she was saying the family didn't fully believe the ransom. Maybe they didn't fully believe it. They just had to act like it could be true because that's all they had at the time. Doesn't that make a little sense? Or yeah, I went and looked for an explanation. Didn't see it, Sandy. Hey, thanks, Sandy Will. So where are we at? 10 more now? It's not bad. Ah, man. Well, I guess we'll find out what happens to Vitoria. Let me see if I can go right to it. Here we go. Oh, man, that was close. Yeah, so what was interesting is on Ryan Enton was saying that right over here that this construction was going on, and they're looking into that. Isn't that crazy? Because somebody brought that up on the show a long time ago. About right at the beginning of the case, really. They were saying, hey, do you see that construction going on? Remember the call that came in? And they brought that up. And I guess now they're looking into that. The people that were at this. I mean, it would be interesting. Who was on the crew? Check them all out. Does anyone have any sort of a record? And then you look into that. I mean, it's not a bad avenue, although that was 2 years prior. They just might have known, hey, remember that old lady that lived by herself? Thanks, Sandy Will. Yeah, I'm actually trying to reread up there. Maybe I'm on the wrong. No, I'm on live chat. Man, I just don't see it. Yeah, so that would be kind of interesting, wouldn't it? If that is related. I mean, it's literally on the driveway right at their house. It's pretty crazy. Well, you don't comment, so how would I know, LOXI? What the F? Jesus. I mean, if you don't comment, I don't know who the hell you are. You know, you just randomly pop in for, you know, that's the weird part is that isn't what she said, by the way, LOXI. I read it 5 times. It doesn't say that. Now, you might have interpreted it that way, but it doesn't say that. Yeah. All right, guys, we need 10 more gifted memberships, and then I'll donate 5 myself, and it'll all be good. So I guess that's the challenge. God, I don't know what they're going to be doing right now. I tell you what, though, it's really, you know, while it's sort of interesting, I don't see a comment. I'm kind of done going with the back and forth, though. Yeah. Let's see. You're going to need to call in. And well, I just don't know what it means. I still don't. You know? I don't think anybody does. That original comment. And I went through the whole chat and never saw an explanation. So I guess I have to sit here and just wonder instead of you typing it in again. Getting blocked about something that happened today. My email is grayhuze. You know, yeah, it's right there. I don't know. Why does it get blocked? What are the words that you're using? Maybe she was saying Gray has had the timeline correct since the beginning, and you know, he can be gracious when he's talking to somebody else and let them say whatever the hell they want to say. Maybe that's it. I'm just guessing, but that's my guess. Right. YouTube is blocking your Yeah, YouTube blocks comments. Plus, I have words that are blocked, too. Specific words. I think it's YouTube's problem. Yeah. Man, wouldn't it be great if we get those other 10? That would make have a normal night. That gets us to the point where I donate the 5. All right, I'm going to put the call in. There we go. We can get... hey, look at that. I'm essential. Now we're just 5 away, you guys. We can do it. It's a miracle. I swear to God. You should call in, Marty. Marty's fun to talk to. He's a funny guy. Right on, but now I'm... I think I got it right. I'm just guessing. I do want to try. I'm trying to get the... let's see. I'm trying to use this iPad, and I'm trying to get the Bluetooth, but it doesn't seem to pick up the devices around. It's kind of frustrating. We'll see. It always picks up the same... Well, that time it did pick up something, a different TV, which is good. I guess we'll see. Oh, I wonder if another device is connected to something, if it doesn't work. I'm trying to figure out a way to make it so we have a phone number again. Ah, there it goes. I disconnected that. Let's see. Huh. Now let's see. Since that's connected. Headphone, speaker. Let's say this thing is just a Bluetooth audio connector, and I'm trying to get my, what would I call it, a headphone, maybe? Or a speaker? Maybe that's it. Speaker. I don't know. I'll have to try. I'm going to practice with it some other time. I think that'd be amazing if we got that to work, where there's a phone number and then I just have this little iPad and the call comes in, I hit it, and then we can hear the voice on the... Does anybody want to try it out, maybe? Or it'd be interesting to try it. Here. Nah, forget it. I'll do it on the side. You still there, Raven? Alright, guys, we just got to get the 5 more. Then I'll donate 5 and we'll be on our way. Oh, yeah? Okay. I'll send you an email. Oh, you're there? Okay. Let's see. I just want to see if it works. If it doesn't work, then that means, you know, it just didn't work. All right, Jim, I just sent it over there. Hey, there you go. There you go. I'm actually got to go get another bottle of that. I had a couple friends. They like it too now. You should be a representative. No, you didn't, Loxy. Okay, I'm going to get rid of you. Nobody knows what she meant. Okay, see you later. Yeah. Maybe come back a little bit later. Hey, thanks, Bad Wheels. Right, Ashley was all over the place. Gray didn't read to get bogged down in details, just to fight and prove he was right. Hey, okay, there you go. That's what I guessed that's what you meant after reading it for the 98th time. All right. Let's see. Let me see if this works. Did you try calling it? Try it, Jim. I'm holding it right here. I just want to see if this thing works. That'd be amazing. I wonder if also you could just have the mic next to the audio from the iPad, and then that would be good enough. Thank you, Bad Wheels. Northwest Distributor. Yeah, it would have that that crazy sound that we have. I just want to see if it works. I don't know. Did you dial it yet, Jim? We're trying to give this a shot here. And if it doesn't work out, I'll just hang up and I'll try to figure it out a different time. Yeah. What's taking so long, Jim? Just dial the number. Oh boy. Look at that. This account. How's it going out there? 56 months. Had to drop in and say hi, Gray. How you doing these days? So what do we got? 4 more to go? I don't know, man. This seems a lot easier than this. I was listening to Megyn Kelly today. They talked about pretty much. Wait, hold on. Why is it over there? Ah, crap. Hello? Oh. Oh. I guess we're going to have to just use the phone audio. You there? Hello? Yeah, shit. It didn't answer on this thing, though. Hold on. How come? Oh, now it says missed call up there. What's going on? Try it again. Try it again, Jim. Try it again out there. What happens if I dialed his number? Can I do that?
Well,
yeah, I'm trying it out.
Oh, there you go, Greg. Gotcha.
Okay, it doesn't work the way I wanted it to, though.
Yeah, it's your boy Jim Lawn. All right, I can let you get back to the show.
Okay, cool. Oh, thanks. Let me ask these people, what does his audio sound like? Just like that. Go ahead. Talk again.
No, it sounds like a regular phone call. Yeah, you sound good.
Oh, yeah? So I sound normal to you,
Yeah.
but I want to know what they hear when they're listening. I think they can hear you pretty good.
I don't know. Can you hear me, freaks?
Yeah, I think it's not too bad.
Just put it in the chat. Yeah.
I think if I put I don't know. It's supposed to use this stupid Bluetooth thing, but it's not. Doesn't seem to be working. But anyways, we'll figure it out.
No, it sounds like a regular phone conversation on my end, at least.
Oh, cool. All right, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for checking in.
Right on, buddy.
Right. Have a
Say hi to everybody for me. Yeah, I'll talk to you later. I'll hit some stupid jokes in the chat.
Okay, thanks. See you.
You know I'm just joking with you.
No, it's all right. It's all right. See you.
All right, man. All right.
Bye.
See
you. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why it doesn't communicate. I don't get it. I was hoping I could hear it through the board that I've got, because I have this thing here. This, I don't know how you can't really see it, but let's see, hold on. So I have this device right here that plugs right into the board, and it's a Bluetooth. You know, like if I've played music before and I can hear it, I just wonder if the calls aren't coming on here. You know, so I'm sort of wondering if calls are treated differently. I don't know.
Power on.
So you can hear that, right?
Your device is connected.
Right. But the calls don't, the audio from the calls don't make it into that. So I'm wondering if that is some sort of a setting that you got to change. I'll have to look into that. That's sort of interesting. So once we get that dialed in, that'd be sweet, because then calls could come in. I could just hit a button, and then we take the call, and I think their audio comes through, and then I don't know how the feedback element of that, how that would work. I don't know. Guess we'll have to see. All right, guys, we need 3 more now? 3 more gifted memberships to reach Marty's goal. That would be sweet. And then I'll donate 5 myself. So really, right now, it's 3 for 5. Yeah. Yeah. We'll keep it a secret. All right. Anyways, I got a line up at the top if anybody wants to call in. Give some thoughts about this. They were talking about DNA on the Megyn Kelly show today. The lady that was talking seemed like she really almost sounded similar to CeCe Moore. Megyn Kelly doesn't, she's just, she knows so little. She knows the big strokes, but then just when you dig down, it's just absolute garbage, She's talking about, hey, do you know you could actually get a photograph of somebody just using their DNA? I heard of a company called, what the hell? What is it? Parabon. They can actually get a photograph of somebody. And the lady said, well, no, you can get if they have their percentage of freckles they have, their skin tone, and all this, and then it sort of looks like somebody. And Parabon, it doesn't really work as well as they claim it does. It's actually a complete waste of time at this point. You know why? Because if you have a DNA profile, and rightfully so, the guest said that Parabon, it's called Parabon Snapshot, I think. That one actually was the predecessor to investigative genetic genealogy. Because once they had the whole profile of the person, they could, wow, 64 months by Elaine Tolling. Once they had the profile and they know what segment and what different parts mean and what somebody might look like, but why waste your time with that? Just get the damn DNA into a database, get your, and the lady even knew about centimorgans and all that. Megyn Kelly has no clue about that kind of stuff, that doesn't, yeah, that guy's name isn't, I know. I said that at the beginning of the show, Sarge. Yeah, that guy's name isn't allowed on here. It's one of the blocked terms. Except the lady that charged him apparently invented a similar thing against somebody else, but maybe for a whole different reason. No, it's pretty bad. There's a guy made a video, and I have the actual PDF file. It's pretty brutal. You know, his girlfriend claimed that he, you know, beat her like really badly over and over again, and you know, who knows? Maybe she's just, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a Me Too person. I think things have to be proven. We've seen so many cases out there where people makes shit up, and you know, remember the Duke lacrosse team? Remember that one? Yeah, wouldn't surprise me at all because I don't think he's anywhere near what everyone. He has so many adoring fans. It's incredible. Like he's got 30,000 people at least that are just, oh, he's the greatest. You know, and so I don't know what to say on that. They wouldn't listen. They wouldn't care even if it was proven. That's how sick these people are. Oh, look at that. It's Jim Lawn who reached the goal there. Hold on a second. I'm going to go ahead and gift the 5 too. Yeah, it's just not worth going over. I mean, that's all going to be in the courts. So whatever happens, happens. And thank you, Marty's Bar and Grill. Very generous of you. Thank you so much. Oh, we got a call here. All right, let me try to do the call differently now. All right, hold on. I'm going to turn off the system audio. I'm not going to use... Okay, hold on. You there?
I am here.
Am I echoing to you?
No, you sound good.
Okay. You guys out there, do I sound normal now? I'm not muffled or anything? Because I think that's been the problem is I've had to... When echo cancellation's on, it does this weird muffling sound. So I'm asking the people watching, does it sound like my normal show currently? All right.
Live streaming is hard, man. Like, I don't think people appreciate how freaking hard it is to get. Like, it's funny. You're basically a whole TV station. They used to employ 50 people to do this stuff.
Yeah, but the thing is, people like Ashley Banfield, she has like people.
Yeah.
You know, like she literally has like a person that does all that, and she just boom and gets to do her show. You know, I don't have that.
I imagine she's got a really cool studio in her house because sometimes she just has a sweatshirt on, which good on her. Like, you know, like she said, she's been doing it 39 years, but she doesn't even look like she's been doing it that long.
Yeah. What's weird is I think there was something wrong with her video because it seemed kind of squished in, like the aspect ratio was off or something. It wasn't on my end. That's how it came in, but we didn't have a lot of time, and I didn't want to say, hey, what's going on? It looks kind of narrow or something.
And I respect her, but after watching that interview, it's ironic because she spent a lot of the time talking about traditional media, and you don't get time to talk about it, and just by doing that, like, she wasn't really focusing on what you guys were talking about. It was, I don't know, and it was frustrating watching you just trying to do the timeline. And she's like, "But how about this?" And you're like, "Come on, man." I don't know.
Well, I did get back to the. We're just different, but I mean, I think you know she is seeing like how, like on this platform, you can have longer conversations, have guests on that know all the different stuff, and you don't have to, you know, like when we were talking about it, I go, how come TV shows, I think if you had a television show, people would love it if you just went deep into something, you know?
Yeah. The old school, like investigative journalism is effectively dead, but YouTube, like she said, that narrowcasting, I like that term. I hadn't heard that. That is effectively what media is now.
Yeah.
You know? It's moved away from the mass. I mean, like you said, they can get like 12 views on a video that probably cost them $5,000 worth of people to make. You know?
Yeah, well, it's like there, but the problem is I guess there's like 5 minutes of commercial. What she was telling me when we were talking off on the side was that the reason it doesn't work on television is that you've got to give, before you go on your next commercial break, you got to say something that'll keep them through the break because they got to hear the next thing.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're still like in the middle of a, you know, I guess what you'd have to do is like make the detailed stuff interesting enough where the next portion of it, they got to see that too, you know. But instead, they always change completely the topic, you know. It's pretty weird. I think if they, I don't know. I actually think if the networks did YouTube instead of their, like literally if they did YouTube instead, they'd probably make more money than they get on their ad revenue on their, you know, like people. I mean, I don't know what their ad revenue is on just one night of shows. I can't imagine it being more than like what Candace Owens makes. There's no way.
Advertising all over the board has gone down. If you look in Australia, it's horrible, really. One of the top like sponsors is gambling, like sports betting. And if you just watch a sport, you know, it's probably the same over there, maybe, but gambling ads during sporting events and stuff, which I hate gambling, but it's a big problem there. So. It's all they've got left, basically. So,
well, what do you think about
like advertising? Oh, sorry, you go.
No, I didn't have. I was just gonna see if you had anything about any thoughts you've had recently on this.
The Nancy case is so cold at the moment. I think everyone's just grasping at straws. I think your timeline's very solid, and the only thing I was going to talk about, I didn't really have anything for Nancy because the construction thing is interesting. Like when whoever brought that up, like you said a long time ago, it did sort of stay with me as an option, you know.
Which one?
It makes sense. The construction site close to.
Yeah, I remember when we went over that, I remember thinking, I don't know, and then I thought, you know what? Yeah, after he was talking more, I was thinking, well, you know, that's actually not really that bad of an idea.
Yeah, because remember that case you went and because you came up with the examples, and that one woman, wasn't there construction work nearby?
That's right.
They waited
That's right.
a year.
Right.
And then, so it gives that scary validity, you know.
That's right. I'm not sure if somebody sent me that or if I found that one. I don't remember now, but
I saw there was a comment in chat, or maybe it was around the same time that the Uber thing came up. Remember when someone kind of said, "Oh, what about an Uber driver?"
Well, I mean the video on that one case. I think a caller called in about the map because we had looked at it.
It was right at the end, wasn't it? Remember, and then they sent it right at the end of the stream. You're like, "Oh, actually, this is pretty interesting," but I can't remember which. Yeah. Be hard to find, probably. I was mainly going to talk about. I think you guys were talking about the Erickson twins yesterday. Is that?
Yeah, you sent. Yeah, those two. Like, I remember. I'm not sure where that was. You sent me one that was sort of similar.
Yeah, the Ingham. It just got me thinking about because I grew up in New Zealand, and this case. You know how you just don't think about a case for some reason, or like 30 years later, just brought it up. The Ingham twins are insane. Like they got on a freaking ship, like a shipping container ship, and like to get to Australia. But then they just jumped off near Cairns, which is, if you know, there's like crocodiles and sharks infested, swam, got to land, got arrested, and then they did it again when they got deported back to New Zealand, got on another ship, did it again. Like it's their stories and crazy. But twins, obviously, I don't know, have some weird, what do they call it? Folie à Deux? Or no, it's mass hysteria kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the deal was with those two, to be honest with you.
Just like true crime can be, you know, like you can write as many movie scripts as you want, but real life is always going to be more insane. Just, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, all I can say is in this one, it just seems like to me, if he just sort of went, oh, okay. The person walks up there. I've said this a million times, but whatever he did beforehand, maybe he looked, oh, look, there's a camera, whatever. He did walking around, who knows? But all we know is right around 147, he removes the camera, and he probably knew, okay, here's a good spot where I can park to get her out of the house. And then he looks in there, and then maybe that's when he left for a while. That, who knows when that other video was from, the one where he doesn't have a backpack.
Yeah.
But at 147, that's him knowing now. That first one, he scouted out that there's a camera there. He knows it. So then when he's there this time, he's in there to just remove the camera because he's going to be parking there. I think that's absolutely a fact that he removed it because he's going to be parked there. That just, maybe it's not, but it's like, I can't claim it to be a fact, but I can say I'm like 99% sure that he removed the camera because he's going to be parking the car there. And then if that's true, that's very likely true. What I'm saying is like 99%. So I'm not going to use the ancient aliens, if that's true comment. I'm going to say, so because he was removing it so that the car couldn't be seen, or couldn't be seen on the camera, then that means he's taking something out of the house and putting it into the car there. And because he took Nancy Guthrie, that's likely what his target was the entire time. Right? So
correct.
Right.
I agree. I know
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. That's funny. That didn't bother me as much. Maybe it was the way you said it. I don't know what it was. I'm not sure what happened right there. I should have been a hell of a lot more.
Affect you too, Greg.
Maybe that's what it was. It was the way you said it, man, with the Australian accent, man. It wasn't the same as correct. Yeah. Yeah. So that, so you know that they're going to be taking her out of there. So then at 147, he removes the camera, and then at that point, he's going, okay, there's nobody in the house. So we keep having these people thinking that there's somebody in the house already, and there's knocking, and, it's just, hey, I'm out here, That kind of stuff just doesn't make any sense, because as soon as you know that you activated the camera, you literally see the light on it go off. Then you're going to take off to see if somebody was alerted to the camera. You don't want to be inside the house when cops show up after somebody called. So you take off and you wait off site. You could have even driven away and then sort of watch from a distance, because you can see lights and whatnot. That place, if you were parked somewhere, you could probably see lights moving around, or maybe he had the scanner with him and he could just listen.
That's a good idea, actually. I never, when you just mentioned, maybe he was driving. So, he takes the camera off, back to the car, because in my mind, once you take the camera off, you don't just want it in your pocket, because it could be still recording. Yeah. And maybe if you can't just damage it because it makes noise, back to the car, camera in the car, drive around, do a loop, wait a bit, and then park.
Right, then you park. Right, then you go back to the house, and you drive it, and you park right in the front now, because now the camera that was going to be filming your car is not there anymore. So now you feel really comfortable parking your car. Then you can make entry into the back. He probably didn't even know that there was a camera back there, and he knows that there's neighbors and whatnot back there, so he broke the light above the door so that there was no light back there. He didn't even know that camera was there. But that's the camera, I think, that picked him up at 212 just before entering the house.
And probably through that storage door next to the lights.
if that's even what it is anymore. Who knows what that is. Those maps and things people have, because apparently that's the door that was wide open. So maybe that's just another, a way to get into the house that sort of leads into the, a kitchen area. I don't really know, but it's just one of those things where I guess we don't get to know every single element, but it seems like, I think the kitchen is right here, this window that's right there. So maybe they kind of extended it out, and he came in, and that's where the light was. It was just right up here. So then he goes into the house, and then she's way over here. So maybe it took a minute to get through the home, and maybe at like 2:14, he gets Nancy, and then they make their way out the door by, they're not. 2:28's about when they're leaving the door, so we don't know what they did for 13 or 14 minutes in there. But it just seems like that makes the most sense of this whole thing. It's just sort of like it's clean, makes sense, I don't know.
Your timeline makes the most sense. It's just it's all Occam's razor, basically.
Right. It might not be true at all. That's the whole thing. It could be completely crazy. There's all this other stuff, but based on the information we have, it makes the most sense. Now, people might get lucky and guess something, but there's nothing else to go on other than what we're saying, because there's blood droplets in the house that make its way to the door.
I was going to say too, and obviously you can discount him having to fumble around and find how did he know where she was, because that stuff was available and you could work out where her bedroom was using that one video. Mm-hmm. So if he was obsessed, he would have access to that. And he would what's this room here potentially? If he's...
Well, that's if he knew how to use Google Earth and look at figured out where the window was, etc.
Exactly. Like, it just seems like he's pretty careful. He's put a lot... I'll leave it maybe here. Like, the bite light still seems key to me. It's a very specialized item. Like, you'd have to be sort of comfortable, and like, why would you go, okay, if I'm going to do this kidnapping, I'm definitely going to need a light that I put in my mouth. Like, and then even if he did do that, like, did he not talk the entire time? Because you would then have to touch the bite light, saliva. Mm-hmm. It seems like he wouldn't risk that. So maybe, guns out in the front, that's enough intimidation. He doesn't talk. So she's got less information. If he's going to kidnap her, mask, no voice. But I don't know. Like, the bite light seems... He
might not be smart enough to have thought but that's where people make the mistake. So when we say, he had to have it in his mouth because if he grabbed it, it would leave DNA. But that's not... he might not have thought of that. That's the thing. It's just sort of like Koberger, He left the DNA on the bottom of the button snap. Like, he didn't realize that. So these people make errors. So he could have grabbed it, and maybe they, I bet you his DNA is in that house somewhere. Like, it's almost impossible. Like, even when you're putting gloves on, you're literally touching the glove when you're putting it on. So it's sort of strange. Like, the gloves are generally used for not leaving fingerprints most of the time. Like, I don't want to leave a fingerprint. But like sometimes DNA makes it onto the glove, right? Because you're holding it with your bare hand, right? And then you put the glove on, and that means you touched part of it, so that could have touched something,
That's why I didn't think the gloves, when that came out, for two reasons. Didn't think he would be that negligent with how careful he was being, and two, that they were just found after they'd announced that those gloves were used, so they could have been planted. I know one was from a restaurant worker, but it just seems like if you're going to be that careful, you're not going to be like, oh, hey, roll down the window and throw this evidence out the window 2 miles from the crime scene. I don't know. I still think he's local too. It's just a weird feeling.
You do?
Like, really local, like within 2.5 miles local, So, like, how many more missing cases can you handle, Greg? Because it's just like it seems to be a crazy, like, even that Colonel Major. Now they're saying he had brain fades and stuff. Like, all of a sudden, 2 weeks in, he was having mind fog for weeks.
Oh, so he probably did want. I bet you he wandered on. I bet you it's similar to the case that I compared it to, where the guy in Colorado walked up the mountain and did something to himself.
Most likely. Look, Occam's razor, he took a revolver with him, no shoes, yes. Yeah. Right. But the timelines, have you done the timeline on that one? I heard that today. Because there was a tradesman at the house, and then
well, all I heard was that they could narrow it down, like, within a specific hour that he left.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have a timeline, like a,
Yeah, it wasn't too. I was going to email you, but you've got so much going on. But I don't know. It does sort of seem most likely just why, you know. Maybe intelligent guy if you're getting brain fog. That's like Robin Williams is the same. That's people argue that's why he, you know.
Well, isn't he the Canadian guy? Who's that? Robert?
The American from Mork and Mindy, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, Robin. I thought you said Robert Williams. Okay, Robin.
Sorry. Yeah, I was mumbling. Robin Williams. Robin.
Yeah, so I think it's the Aussie accent, right? Like you guys would say.
It's like
Robin
Williams.
Yeah, however you say it, man. Wait, let me ask you. Can you imitate Australian people, or do you feel like you already sound like them?
Oh, my Aussies, if you want me to go real bogan, I can. It's bloody easy, you know, but that's more of a farmer kind of thing.
But it doesn't sound much different than your normal New Zealand accent, right? You guys sound pretty
very
similar.
Aussie-fied. I can do a Māori accent, like if you're from New Zealand, you're a bit of a native, like you kind of sound like this.
Yeah, they always sound like they're asking a question. You never notice that?
Yeah, upwards inflection, bro, hey.
Yeah, at the end. Yeah, right, exactly. There's like that thing at the end.
He's not sure. It's like, what?
I'm not sure what's going on with that. Don't you know?
Yeah, it's just...
Like, you guys always have a question? Don't you know the answer to that?
Yeah, well, hey, a New Zealander was the first one to split the atom, Gray. We're pretty intelligent people.
Oh, yeah?
And,
all right.
Yeah, it's Sir Ernest Rutherford, so you can thank him for nuclear weapons. There you go. You're welcome.
Oh. Hey, do you guys hear? This is pretty funny. Did you guys hear Trump today at? Or I think it might have been yesterday, but he was the Japanese or what prime minister, is that what they have over there? I'm not sure what they have, but
yeah,
she was in there, and one of, I think, a Japanese reporter or somebody said, "Hey, so why didn't you give a warning to your NATO allies of why you were going into Iran?" And then he said, "Well, why didn't the Japanese tell us when they were going to bomb Pearl Harbor?"
I knew it was going there. That's awesome.
It was like, God, who the hell else would ever say that? But it was so accurate, though. It's like, yeah,
that's true.
You're not going to tell people that you're doing something.
Screw you guys. It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, and you should have seen her face. She just went, "Oh, yeah." Shit. Oh man, it was great. I actually got to see if I can find that thing.
She's probably already. I can't make that joke. Actually, you know what I was about to say there.
It was meant to be funny, but it was like.
Let's hope she's not flying a plane solo anytime soon.
Here, let me play. Here, I'm going to play this. Here, look at watch.
He's so good.
I'm going to play it. Look at her face. Look at her face. Oh, jeez.
She'd be like, how's your journalism trying to go for that? Or is she a journalist, sorry? Or is she the... Is that the... I don't know.
Yeah, I think runs... I think they have a female prime minister. Oh, there was...
Okay.
I guess they didn't have any audio. I'll have to do it again.
Shinto Abe, is it her name? I'm terrible with names. Just butchered
that took you guys forever to say you didn't have any audio, man. Jesus.
I thought it was just me. I would have said. I thought it was not working in the stream yet.
Could you hear it?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to.
I just figured it was an anomaly for me.
Okay, I'm gonna play it again, and then I'm gonna. Let's see. But now I have to press this button where I might echo. So you're gonna have to just deal with it. All right, here we go.
Japan and US are very good friend, but one question, why didn't you tell US allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing, you don't want to signal too much, you know. When we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it. because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay, why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay, right? He's asking me. No, you believe in surprise, I think much more so than us. And we had to surprise him, and we did. And because of that surprise, we knocked out the first.
That was pretty good. All right.
He's got really good timing, you know, from being on TV, I guess, during The Apprentice. And like, he's just so. People keep attacking his mental faculties and stuff. Like, he's not Biden. He's pretty switched on. Look at him. He dodged a bullet. That guy's like Jesus, basically.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, but it's just it's so true though. Like somebody goes, "Hey, how come you didn't tell us when you attacked Iran?" You know, and he's looking at him going, "Man, that's pretty rich coming from you. Why didn't you tell us about when you attacked Pearl Harbor first?" Yeah. And then some idiot in the comments goes, "They did. They intercepted the." Yeah, shut the hell up. You know what he's talking about, you idiot. You know. Yeah. I
was actually like, we could talk about this all day, but it's interesting. Like, let's say this is World War III. Not saying it is, but let's say this is, right? This is World War 2.5, because since Israel created after World War II, that's been simmering ever since, never been resolved, right?
I don't know. So I don't know if this is any. I think it's just more just sort of like, you know, like the Gulf War wasn't 2 point anything.
No,
this is less than that. This is like that thing was huge.
But we've had COVID. Like, COVID has created this weird paranoia. Like, the fuel shortage thing over here is insane. Like, people are losing their minds. I think it potentially might be different. If China goes,
don't you guys have oil in us? Don't you have oil over there?
No, like interestingly enough, we do not produce any oil. No,
seems like you would have it.
I know, right? That's what we're all saying. It's cheaper to import. So.
But you do have oil somewhere?
Yeah, yes, but I imagine we export the crude and we don't have any infrastructure for production. Like, we can't create petrol. Like,
yeah, we don't have any issue at all. We don't. The reason the price going up is ridiculous here in the United States because we have an abundance of gasoline and oil and everything. It's just it's a world market, so we have to have prices based on everybody else, and it doesn't need to be like it's almost as if our government controlled the gas. It wouldn't be high at all; it'd be low. You know? But
that doesn't work that way. It's quite smart, really, that the Venezuela thing sort of makes more sense now, right? Because let's say they were like, okay, you've got to attack Iran, but if we do that, there's going to be a huge pinch on oil. So how about we just get Venezuela kind of going first? They're pretty big reserves.
Well, it's kind of interesting because I think what he's doing is going to be so beneficial for everybody, really, because it's like you take Venezuela and then Cuba now is like, hey, shit, man. You know, so imagine if, like, all of a sudden we have maybe Cuba becomes a protectorate of ours, you know, and then Venezuela, we get the influence from the Chinese and Russia away from them, and now it's like, hey, the influence in our hemisphere is a lot less. And then it makes it seem like, well, man, that makes sense now to get Greenland, you know? I mean, not to have it, but at least have a base there, you know, because then you've got this whole area protected and influence gone, you know.
Well, that's an important strategic point. That's why Australia is so important to America and why we're such good friends, because that whole Hawaii thing, I guess, the Pacific part of it is pretty important too. Not for oil, I guess. But my other point was, I guess, maybe, you know, America's very distracted, moving carrier fleets out of the area. China's doing some weird stuff. I feel like if they just maybe take Taiwan, that is my catalyst for World War III. I don't want it to happen, but
that would be like, well, that would cause a problem. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure the United States would. I mean, it's almost ridiculous to. You'd almost have to just sort of let them take it. You know, that's the problem. You know.
Yes.
I mean, what do you do? Get the world. You just let the world go to hell because you wanted to, not let another Hong Kong happen. I don't know. It's just sort of it's a tough decision.
They're impenetrable. They've been building man-made like fortress islands. You probably know this, like just islands of just anti-aircraft and just aircraft, and like they've just made.
Yeah, China. They've built islands out of nothing. Yeah, probably took. Well, but they probably did was they found, because underneath the ocean there's these almost volcano. Like Hawaii is actually a volcano, and if you look at it, there's a whole bunch of these little mounds that go way up, but they don't quite. They're maybe 100 yards below the surface or something, or 200.
Yeah.
Maybe a quarter mile, and then they just pile up crap on top of it until it reaches the surface, and then it's an island. Remember that one congressman who was a Democrat? He said he was in Congress or base in Guam. He had concerns that if we put too many ships and aircraft over there, would it tip the island over? I mean, he literally said it. I mean, he was serious too. I mean, it wasn't a joke or anything. Would it tip it over? How do you tip? It's not floating, you fool. It's literally a mountain underneath the ocean. Yeah.
In charge of you guys, everyone. That's what we've got here for representation.
Yeah. that guy was a genius. Man, he was great.
You should have to pass an IQ test to like get in. Sure.
Yeah.
No one would get in. So interesting. If it is World War III, it's been fun, guys. We'll be pretty safe. I'll have to go back to New Zealand, but
yeah.
It's the safest place to be, I think.
Yeah.
You can't get there. We've only got sheep. Like someone said to me once, no one would want to attack a farm.
Nobody's attacking New Zealand. Okay.
Well, we have got a Five Eyes though, so Five Eyes is interesting because it brings Australia and Australia, France, New Zealand, UK, and Anyway, all right. Always good to talk, freaks. And has there been a donation recently? It's been a good night, but there must be someone out there who just had a good week.
Well, it's you being on here. That's just the way it is. I'm just kidding. We're okay, everybody. We're okay. We reached the goal.
Good cause. You never know, but can we just have less missing people, please? Can everyone just be careful out there? Like no swimming when you're drunk.
Yeah.
If you're a male, age 20, because you're pretty much going to be in the water, apparently.
Right. He thought it was going to sink the island, not tip over.
Oh yeah, well that makes way more sense.
It's the same thing. It's not floating. Okay. Yeah.
But if you want to scare yourself, look at those 10,000 drone light shows that the Chinese can do, and just imagine the technology they have in their military.
No, they're drone technologies. That's why it's so shitty that we banned DJI drones, because they're so much better than anything we have. I mean, our drones suck.
They kind of walked that back. I know I fear-mongered that, but we were really scared. Like, we were actually scared this time. And they walked it back at the last second. Like, Trump loves doing that. Like, I love him, but he walked the DJI drone thing.
When?
Back,
no, they're banned over here. No, I don't know if they're over there, but we can't buy them over here anymore.
Really? I thought they... Yeah.
I mean, did they just recently... let me type it in.
Because what they effectively did at one point was, while we were scared, they were going to ban any drone part that wasn't made in America. So you couldn't. Not just China.
That's what we have. It says as of early 2026, DJI drones face significant import and sales restrictions in the USA due to Federal Communications Commission actions over national security concerns. While existing DJI drones remain legal to own and fly, new models cannot be imported, making current inventory limited to existing stock and third-party resellers. It just sucks.
Effectively. So, the FCC is one of the first times they've stepped in on like a weird national security issue, apparently, and been like, oh, hey, by the way, we're not going to certify your radio protocol, because that's what they have to do.
Yeah, they're suing, actually, because I don't think there's any, I mean, we don't know, but I just... Does everything China have to do, does it have to be nefarious? I mean, couldn't they just be like, wow, we've got these people,
Yeah.
They make great drones.
America does it too. look at Google. Google's got all your information. Do you really think the Chinese are going to do anything to you, like as an American citizen?
Well, I think what they think they're doing is they're flying the drones around and then using what's the name of the hyper threading or whatever the hell that thing is they use.
Yeah.
But they're actually sending back the some sort of a version of your video back to China, effectively mapping huge portions, things like that. I don't know.
Mapping infrastructure. But then Google Maps exist. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's Google Maps. Like, you can show that camera on Nancy's house, right? Do you really need that to be at like 4K for it to be any better? I don't know. It seems like a cop-out just to ban it. So it's the argument in the drone hobby is it's because Trump Jr. has a huge investment in Red Cat. So Red Cat were originally a FPV drone company, basically, rode a riot very quickly, and now they're making warfare drones. So they literally just turned our hobby drones into like, hey, let's bomb people. And he invested heavily in them. There's been heaps of insider trading. The idea is having American drones, which there aren't any. There's nothing.
Yeah, I mean, they suck. They have this cool drone. They have a drone now that's... I think it's made by Insta360 and somebody else. It's a 360-degree 8K drone.
Mm-hmm.
It's sweet. I mean, it's it's freaking amazing. Apparently, and it comes with goggles. Like that's all you can use, and you feel like while you're 400 feet up in the air, you got your goggles on, and then you just start walking around and look around because you can look 360 degrees. It's really.
It looks cool, that one. Yeah,
it does look kind of cool.
You too, probably for your stuff.
Oh, I think it'd be great for I mean, that's because I actually put the Insta360 on top of the Mavic 2 that I've got, and that has some cool stuff. But this one's way better than that because it's part of it. You can't even see the propellers or anything. It's just, it's amazing.
It's amazing how they do that stitch together, and then you can edit freely afterwards, and like pick what you want to include. I
think that drone. I mean, it's weird too because I think Insta360 is Chinese, but somehow that one, I don't know. Yeah. It's weird. They got by it somehow.
We love so Insta360. Funnily enough, was mainly supported by us, the FPV, because we were always looking for a lightweight drone camera that wasn't a GoPro. GoPros are heavy, they're expensive, and they die when you crash. The Insta360s were light, cheaper. So you put them on micro drones.
I don't think those 8K, the ones that I use, isn't light though. I get the Insta360 8K. It's like it actually weighs way more than. They might have a miniature version or something. I don't know, but it weighs way more.
They've
than
got like little
GoPro.
tablet-looking ones. Yeah, like you can kind of wear it on your shirt type of thing. It's tiny.
Yeah.
I could nerd out about drones all day, and I'm glad to see you're still flying yours. But I will let someone else call in. Great stream as usual, and again, just everyone stop going missing. Like just don't go missing. If you're an old person, be careful. Lock your doors.
Yeah.
Pay your subscription, like Ashley Banfield says, and stay safe out there.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in.
All right, guys. Take care. Bye.
Wow, that was perfect English. All right, see ya. Notice how he didn't sound, he didn't have an accent at all at that time. Yep. Let's see. I wish GoPro would recover somehow. I mean, that's kind of what everybody calls them anyways. I mean, isn't it suck that the company that everybody goes, oh, do you got a GoPro? No, I've got a... It's just sort of like the generic, like saying Kleenex, And they make good stuff. It's too bad. Yeah, I'm hoping they recover someday. I think they need to... GoPro needs to focus in on... I don't know, just sort of like really high quality miniature cameras that sort of support I think even like you could say the drone community, where you can maybe put 4 or 5 of them pointing in different directions because they're so light and small. You put those, I don't know. It's weird because the Chinese are so good at that stuff that they just come in and you just dominate quick. They're way better than we are at that kind of stuff. I think somebody like Elon Musk, if he went into the drone world, within 2 or 3 years, they'd have drones as good as the DJI drones. But he doesn't. That's not what his gig is. But man, could you imagine his battery technology, just the engineers and shit that he could pay for and get? I mean, they would get really crazy good drones for consumer use, I would think. Well, no, GoPro made I think you know what their downfall was? When they created their first drone. That drone was a catastrophe. And just went, it really kind of collapsed their whole company at that point. Because it cost so much money and it was crazy. Anyways, thank you, Bengal Cat Chili. What was the somebody up above just randomly typed in, nobody asked them a question. They said, she kept interrupting, speaking over you. It was hard to figure out who was making point at the moment. It was just really annoying format. I watched it, but I found it frustrating. Sorry. Did any of you guys feel that badly about it? Like it was that? I watched the whole thing today. I didn't feel that way. Like I didn't feel, I mean, I do, you know, it's more that I wanted to say, you know. But she has her own shows, and that's what she does is they talk, you know. I mean, it's hard not to do that if that's what you do. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was fine. I think whoever that was up there was just trying to make it seem shitty. Yeah, well, maybe they could get NVIDIA to make chips or something for it. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. What's weird is, like, even though, like, a lot of my thoughts are really common sense, there's always like a rebuttal. Well, you know, unless you know, and that's the thing. It's like if you don't have something that's more likely on your rebuttal, then I don't need to hear that. You know what I mean? Guys, yeah, that was pretty good though. Yeah, I don't even know why GoPro tried to make a you know, drones take a long time to make one that's reliable. But man, just think how amazing that is. The ones that you know, the DJI ones when I wear the goggles and I flew around at the beach. I mean, that drone weighs less than 50 grams, and it just handles the wind like a champ. I mean, it goes right through it. You know, you could have a 30-mile-an-hour wind and it makes it. And I don't know how they work that out. I mean, it burns the battery out a little bit, but... yeah. Anyways. I think that's going to do it, you guys. We don't... Wait, no, we got another caller. Hold on. Hey, what's going on, Jason?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I just saw you at the last second there. I was like, wait. I was about ready to bail, but then I was like, whoa, there's a caller.
Well, I understood to mute the other session this time around, so there's no reverb, so I can hear you great.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Well, I listened to your interview today, and I was actually shocked when you said that you didn't getting the views that you would have wanted on there, and that they weren't that great. And
it's terrible, yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't make sense to me because I listened to it, and I thought it was very informative. It certainly, to me, kind of led to how she felt about a lot of things. That's for sure. In some ways, I kind of felt like she, in some ways, wanted to make sure it was clear, you know, how she felt about things where she differed at you on, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I
I thought that was I thought that was a little bit, that's the part is like, wanting to be different instead of thinking, man, because the way I do it is if somebody tells me something that makes more sense, I go with that one every time, and that way you move forward. But what I do is I come up with, usually I try to have the thing that makes the most sense based on the information we have, and then eventually if somebody goes, hey, what about this, then I'll go, oh wow, and then I'll have to incorporate that. But it's weird when you have somebody that just has a different opinion based on really almost nothing, and then it's it's a contradictory thing, but it's not more likely at all.
What did you think about her point about the lights being smashed out in the backyard and wanting to account for that?
She did bring that up. I was just thinking maybe the person broke the lights. When they jumped over the fence, they broke the light, and then they didn't even know that camera was there. They were just trying to make it dark back there so that people couldn't see what they were doing if there happened to be neighbors that could see. Because there are neighbors, like there's 3 of them in the back of the house there. I don't remember what her point was on that.
Would that suggest to you, though, that that person maybe knew about that camera out and back from a previous recon?
Maybe, or just when they got there, they saw maybe the light even went off on them, because it might be one of those automatic lights that detects motion or something. Okay. And then maybe it went off and they were, oh shit, and they broke it, I don't know.
Could they have seen the camera on a Google Earth, for example?
I don't know. I don't think Google Earth shows a clear. I've looked at it. Like it was right there. You wouldn't be able to tell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing too that she brought up that I thought was interesting is she seemed to agree about the way the exit happened on the door until she said, "Well, then how would they kind of go through the doorway at the same time? They'd have to be one in front of the other."
Yeah, I didn't really get that argument. See, that seemed like one that was just like trying to disagree,
Right.
Because I didn't feel like that one was really like, well, because here's the thing is like if you're carried out, that's sort of weird too. Like how would you keep the door open when one's holding the back side and the other one's got the other side? The door's just sort of bouncing off the body until the last one uses the elbow to open it up. Something like that.
The thing that would get me about carrying it out, I mean, there's other things like you're mentioning, but it would be awfully bloody if she's bleeding like that. There'd be blood all over the back of his legs, wouldn't there? And the shoes.
I think that if somebody was carrying him out and there was somebody at the head and at the foot, the guy at her head has got blood all over his feet and everything, and the one carrying the feet probably doesn't have any blood on him, but the one carrying the head portion of the quote burrito, you would have in her scenario though, she had it like over the shoulder like a fireman carry.
That's what I mean.
So like let's see. I guess it doesn't have to be like if I just think you're too far away in fireman carry to get that close to get the cough that centralized, because I remember we had it down, I think it was 8 to 24 inches. And I don't know if you're being fireman carried that all the way over the shoulder, if your head is that close to the ground, it just doesn't really, I guess we could try to find.
Point, because wouldn't her head, if he was fireman's carry, wouldn't her head be up around his buttocks up in that area?
Yeah, I think it would be, or higher even,
Yeah, right. The lowest would be at the top of his buttocks, you would think.
Yeah, let's just throw out an example of a fireman. Here's on the screen here. I just don't agree with it at all. People's bodies, I don't know, you can see it right here on the screen. Let's see. I don't know if this is a video or what they're doing here. This guy's going to pick somebody up. Okay, here's somebody. Fireman carry.
Yep.
Look,
Oh my gosh.
I mean, the head's a mile up. I know. And this lady's tall. She's not tall at all, so it'd be even worse, you know?
Yeah, so it had to be where she would bend
Yeah.
over and cough.
People just have weird perceptions when they try to think of something.
So
It's just not even close, you know? I mean, I've seen, you know, like every time you look at a, like here's another, just like a small example of it, you know, like a picture. Let's see. That one didn't show it, but wait, maybe in here, let's see. Yeah, I mean, just a picture like that. You know, like, see, you got their waist is all the way up at your shoulder, and then their body curves a bit. So your head is probably 3 to 4 feet off the ground. And I just don't think there's any way in hell to make that coughing pattern doing that.
So there was another thing that she brought up too that I didn't quite get or agree with, but I wanted to maybe for us to walk through this so that maybe if there's something that I'm not understanding that you can correct my way of thinking, or that I just want to see kind of, I want to spell it out and then see if you agree with this, with what the scenario was. So my understanding is when the initial ransom letters came in, that they were viewed by the parties that received them, meaning that it was the TV station, they looked at it, and that the TMZ, they looked at it, and they looked at it first. Is that right?
Well, I think the 2 news stations got it, and then apparently, I don't know, I keep hearing this random stuff today. Oh, they got 2 different ones than the ones over at that TMZ got. I don't know. I mean, where do these people, how would they even know that?
Well, because the FBI had to go and receive it and get it, so they had to receive it from a particular...
I know, but they're saying that the one that TMZ got was different than the ones that the 2 news stations got on the same day. We don't know that that's true. They could have the exact same wording. They said it was different wording, is what I'm saying. You know, and we don't know that.
But can we say that there were at least 2 different ransom letters that the FBI did regard as in their mind as being credible?
Yeah, but I think it was like, you could call it 2 sets, because they sent it to news outlets and TMZ, the first letter, then they sent the second letter, the same letter to 3 different, you know, whatever, however many news outlets they sent it to.
Okay. So
but I think there's 2 of them.
So when the FBI, and it was the FBI, right? It wasn't the sheriff's office, because doesn't Nano say that they should go to the FBI if they want answers as to what was done with that part of the evidence? Is that correct?
I don't know. Can you word that again?
Sure. Nanos, when it was questioned about Nanos, about the ransom letters and the authenticity of their ransom letters, didn't he then say that if they want information on that they should go to the FBI because the FBI was the ones who were handling that?
I think he said that, but it's also that's what they do. I mean, that is
Right.
a FBI thing.
I'm just trying to establish, you know, that they weren't involved, like the sheriff's office wasn't involved and the FBI was, before I continue like going down the road that we're going down. But is that your understanding, is the FBI was handling that?
Yeah, well, I think they're definitely there. I mean, I think they were the ones talking to. I remember them saying that maybe what Savannah was saying is exactly what the FBI wanted them to say. So I think they're definitely involved for sure.
So when the FBI first looked at the letter, I mean, obviously they read it, and then whatever that letter said, do you think then that they said either A, we need to go to the location and see if what the letter is describing is what is accurate? Or do you think that they maybe said to an investigator, is this what you saw? Is it corroborate what the letter says? Or do you think they physically went to the location to basically corroborate those letters?
Well, I don't think they had any, like a location or something in there. I think it was just...
Well,
yeah.
What I mean is, so if one of those letters specified that there was a certain object, say for a watch, that was placed in a certain location in that bedroom, and it was only a location that the abductor would know, the question would be is so that if they read the letter and it says a detail in there that abductor put in there so that the police would know that it was him.
Mm-hmm.
So that did the police then go to the location to verify that detail?
Well, yeah, they probably did. Like, it was probably at the house. They were probably, they described, that's what the verification was. It was in the house. Like, they were able to say certain things. I remember at one of the press conferences, the FBI guy was asked about that, and he said that they were actually asked the things that are mentioned in the letter that only the, quote, killer would know. Is it possible, though, since some of this stuff has came out in the media, that he got it from that? And then he was like, well, we're looking at the timing. But they must have looked at the timing and knew that it was before that information came out to the public. Some of it, like where the maybe I don't know what the items were.
Floodlights they talked about.
Yeah, things like that. Yeah, maybe it could be something like that. I don't know, but they probably checked to see where it was mentioned and realized that wow, these people knew this before that was out there and took it seriously. I don't think that that's ever been told to us that they completely ruled it out. What I said in that interview, though, was like, why would you get a hold of TMZ? What's the point of that? Like, if you're trying to get a ransom, you don't get a hold of TMZ.
Well, I'm going somewhere with it. So that then the next step would be then that if they looked over the information in the letters and compared it to the scene, and they said, okay, we judge this credible enough that we can at least now go to the family. Because we're not going to go to the family with fake letters. I mean, that would be...
Yeah. No, I think the family in the second interview that she did, the second interview that, well, not interview, the second video that Savannah put out, that she really thought that they believed at that point that she was not alive anymore. And I think the FBI might have been trying to do one last gasp at them trying to get a ransom, and then we could get the... if you could tell us where they were, that'd be great. But also just another piece of communication that they could maybe link to them somehow.
So I agree with that. And I mean, this would make sense that they went to the family. They said, okay, this is what we believe is true. And this is why we believe that it's true. And therefore, we want you to respond in such a way, and we're going to help you make a reply and get it together. And just like how you started to say in the Banfield interview, where you went into you started to really go to the point where you were stating that in the final point where she had finally concluded that, we're willing to settle with just getting the body.
Right.
And if it was just that alone, that maybe you could tell us where the location is. Now, she didn't come right out and say it, but that was basically implied.
I think that's exactly what she was saying. Not when they write those words, but if you go watch it, that's what she was saying. Yeah.
And if you look, all three of them, the upper wear, the shirts that they're wearing that day, it's all black. They're all black, every single one, all three of them. And so it's almost like they were dressed in a way to send a message to the ransomer saying, we're grieving. We're at a point of grieving now. And it was almost as if information was made known to them that, I mean, did you get that from that they now knew that it was past the point and that mom was gone?
Yeah, I said that at the time. Like the day that she put out that interview, or not the video, I said, what she's saying here is that they now realize that her, the mother, I mean, if I watched it right now, I could tell you, it said, we understand now. That's what they said. And what she's saying is, we understand now that our mother is dead. We want to have her back so that we can celebrate her life. What they're really saying is to have her body, and they can bury her and celebrate her life. And we need peace. And the only way we're going to get peace is by having her body back to be able to do that. So we're willing to pay you to let us know where we can find her. That's what I said about a month and a half ago.
And this is basically the same thing that you said with Ashley, and you stated it very well. And so when you watch the video that day of those three making their plea, and you also heard the brother separately make the plea, right? He said to himself, we need you to reach out and communicate with us. Remember when the brother said that?
Yeah.
Right? So the reason why I'm saying this is that when you saw the brother's face that day and you watched his mannerisms, as many people did when you watched the three family members.
Right. I mean, where you're just getting to, you think they really believe that you're trying to say that they really believed that there was a person that has her for ransom, right? Is that what you're getting?
I'm saying that based on the tears on their face, the anguished looks on their face, did it look believable to you that they themselves believed everything?
I believe that they. I mean, I'm not sure if they were told 100% that this is reality, but I think that they felt. I mean, FBI must have explained to them, man, we really think these are real, and so they felt that way. And then maybe it changed later where they went, maybe these weren't. But at the time, it feels like they did think that it was real.
So do you think then it was later thought that maybe it wasn't because no proof of life was offered?
Yeah, it might have been no proof of life. I mean, the thing about those, though, is the TMZ angle. Sometimes just criminals do stupid shit, I guess, but it's just one of those things that you can't just go, boom. If they had just sent that ransom note, even if they sent it to the news stations, it's weird. I mean, why wouldn't you just send it to, email it to Savannah Guthrie's business or something, something, or the FBI or someplace where they just get the information and they deal with you on the side and, but instead it's just kind of weird that you send it to TMZ. What's the point of that?
And I think it's a good question, and I think the easiest way to say it is basically to obfuscate, to make it not as easily traceable, to be spontaneous, to make it appear unexpected and kind of like, well, that's the last person we would expect, because all of it basically has been unorthodox, so then why not throw in things that are seemingly, that you wouldn't, because normally you would think like, okay, you would communicate directly with the ransomer. You'd say, don't communicate.
Well, what they could have actually thought was that maybe TMZ would actually just pay it to get the information for a big story. That could have been what they might have thought that TMZ might have done.
And there's other people have mentioned that and even said, why didn't NBC put some money, but in some ways I thought, well, one of the reasons why nobody has done it is because it would be basically like saying, okay, well then they could do more ransoms and then go straight to the networks and say, hey, you paid up before, pay us again.
The thing is TMZ, I think in this case was so irresponsible that it's just, I brought it up on there. I said, that I got to tell you guys, the whole thing with the guy with the two backpacks and their attempt to make the information fit a timeline by pretending that a source of theirs said that the 212 was the front camera, the doorbell camera, just to make it work so that the timing of the guy on camera could work. Because when I went and watched it, I don't know if the black guy that's the I don't know what his name is, but he's the co-host. He said, well, what about the 147 time frame? And then he looked at him and went, yeah, let's just leave. We got to leave that out. That'll just get confusing. It's like, well, yeah, it is confusing because what you're saying is bullshit. Okay. 147, the doorbell camera got disconnected. So how in the hell is that filming anything at 212? That's a different camera that's filming at 212. It got disconnected. Now, maybe they're saying it got disconnected at 147, but it reconnected. But it isn't because of the wording, the way they said it. It didn't. It was a different camera. That one was out of play at 147. the 140, the front camera, and then another camera filmed motion at 212. God, that was so frustrating watching that.
One thing that's really striking me, the more and more I think about it, Gray, is that so we went this long, and I mean, apparently, just going off of the information that we have, that they aren't really working anything serious, or they don't have any good leads. Maybe they do, but just say that they don't. That it's kind of odd that all this time has passed and that we don't have anyone, and it just makes you think that this was really well planned out. Like, they really thought about this. They really went through everything that could have possibly been a snag, and that, you know, it's not luck that, oh, you know, just some dumb criminals that got lucky. That, I mean, you really have to be thinking your way around to beat the geofencing and months of geofencing. And I mean, it just strikes me as something that was well orchestrated, and it brings up the question that I wanted to ask you about, and that is, so when you think about the way that that neighborhood is set up, and I've heard other people say it, that like when it's dark, or if you were to just drive in there blindly, and like say someone said, I'm going to give you an address, and I'll give you some general directions, but you figure out where to go, that person would be really challenged to find that place. Like, obviously, if you plug it into a GPS and it tells you when to turn and how to get there, it's easy. But my point is that it seems like it's a place that, first of all, in order to prepare to do something like that and to make sure it would be planned, you're going to have to go out there and you're going to have to check it out. You have to become acquainted with the area, with the scene, and with that person's routine. Right. You know, you're going to have to know, and that means it's. Would you say, if you were just guessing, that the surveillance aspect of this meant that they would have had to at least surveilled it 3 times to be this good at?
Well, I can't give you a number.
No.
I don't know how many times they went there. I mean, they could have just gone there, really just earlier in the day, evening at 10, and walked around and went, ooh, yeah, look at that. Okay, yeah. You know, they could have been there in the daytime. They could have, you know, I don't know. To me, that's just, we don't have any information. You know, they have the 12th, what is it, the 11th and the 24th, that they're looking at dates that somebody may have done something. We don't even know what that is for or anything.
That's why I was bringing it up, because if they were going there repeatedly again and again without phones, and they were, say, if they were using different cars to beat detection and all these different, you know, ways of getting around without anybody noticing, that it tells you that it had to be something that was pretty well mapped out. You know, that it suggests that, you know. But beyond that, just to conclude before I go on too long, I wanted to come back to what Banfield said to you, and that was where it kind of rubbed me wrong. And that if I was a family member who was watching that, you know, one of those 3 people, that I probably would have been offended that when she said that, well, they really didn't believe what was being sent to them. She actually did say that. That was her words right in there.
Well, I don't know if maybe did she say it in a way that made it seem like she had inside information about that?
It did, actually. It made it sound like she talked to one of the family members, and one of the family members told her that, well, we didn't really believe that.
Well, it's weird too, because I think the family members are angry with her apparently, but I don't know how she would know that. Maybe her source said that.
Yeah, what it really seemed to be saying is that the reason why they didn't believe the letters is because they were hoaxes, and that what you were saying about the fact that, hey, when she was really starting to say, like, hey, we just want the body back, and that, you know, we believing what you're telling us and everything, that Banfield is coming back and saying, like, well, the family just believed they were hoaxes. It's a bunch of BS.
No, yeah, I don't believe that. I think they thought those original ones were real. I think there was the later ones that were hoaxes. Remember I mean, I don't know why. Yeah, I mean, why haven't they caught the one who sent the last ones? Remember the ones that TMZ kept getting, and they kept changing the amount. Like, we'll just take 100,000, whatever the hell it was. Oh, I know the people at the border, etc. I mean, why haven't they arrested that person? Because they arrested that one, and then how come they haven't got the first ones? If they're really were, you know, I mean, I guess they could have used VPNs and all that shit.
It sounds like it was pretty well sophisticated, unlike the guy Kalila there who called from his own phone. Is that what he did? Called from his own phone to tell them that
Probably.
Bitcoin or something? You know?
Probably.
But anyway, Gray, it's been a pleasure, and it's always great watching your work and seeing what you do. And I'm just a big fan, and grateful that you took my call tonight. And
well, thanks for calling in. I like the show. I like the Bourne Identity shows. Those are movies. Those are good.
I'm still trying to figure out who I am.
Jason Bourne, man. You don't know who the hell you are. What's your real name? All right.
Take care. Good talking to you.
You too. Have a good one. See ya. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could be, I think the most, a ransom, a kidnapping for ransom that went wrong seems to make sense. But at the same time, if it went wrong and you knew you weren't going to get any money because you can't prove any life, why would you even introduce yourself to two news stations? Maybe if she was still alive when you first sent him out and then she died shortly after that. And then, I mean, that's a possibility, actually, because the first ransom note came out quick, right? Then it was a few days before that second one came out, and that's the one that was, we understand now, that one. So that is interesting, right? What if originally it was for ransom, and by the time they needed to prove life, she wasn't alive anymore? And now they're sort of stuck because they've already done a communication. So they tried one more, using the same techniques. It didn't work. And then they just washed their hands of the whole situation. Could be something like that. I just don't understand. I guess if you went in there and you did the sexual assault and removal is the only thing that makes sense outside of what I just said. Because if you went in there and there's a robbery went wrong, there's absolutely no reason in hell that you need to take her body out of there, okay? There's just no reason for it. Now, I guess one would be, you recognize the person, but you had a balaclava on, so that doesn't make sense. I don't know, Ivan. We don't know what they have or what they don't have. Your comments are just really, you're no more accurate. You're not making better points than anybody. You're doing your typical, I'm going to disagree with everything just for the sake of disagreeing, even though what I'm saying isn't logical or more logical. Let's see. Do a small GPS device with an antenna. Okay, I'll check it out later. Yeah. So, anyways, we don't know what they have, what they took, how they planned. We don't know anything. All right. Maybe they didn't know that she was on medication, Ivan. Yeah, but you do your opinion. You always look to try to have something reversed, even though it doesn't make more sense. Okay. So that's the part that's frustrating. I mean, I could sit here and say, well, shit. How do we know? He didn't bring in biscuits and she swallowed one and choked on it. Man, how do we not know that? Now, you can't tell me that didn't, All right, well, that's probably not really likely, right? It probably wasn't biscuits and... Right. So it's got to be... Could be somebody that was there for, a sexual assault, I think if you go... Let's say they went in there, they didn't know she needed her heart medicine. So they take her out of there and... that's why she died within a few days. That she didn't make it. People don't just die in the next day because you didn't get your heart medicine. Just like she could probably walk 52 yards, not just 50. Oh yeah, she can only walk 50 yards. Well, okay. So she's walking, and then as soon as she hits 50, she can't take another step. That's just bull crap, you guys. She could probably walk 150 yards if she needed to. All right. Yeah, it's okay, Ivan. I'm just feeling like it's just the whole thing's frustrating. Most likely what? Wonder if the device is a... Yeah. I don't know, man. It's a satellite phone. That's what somebody else wanted me to know, because they believe it's this one particular person. So of course it's a satellite phone at that point. And then somebody else goes, oh, the electricity is out. Oh, it had to be a jammer then. Oh, it had to be the box down the street. Well, which one is it? The box down the street that took out the electricity, or a jammer? Well, if it was a jammer, how come his video is crystal clear when he's at the front door? Well, hell, maybe he didn't turn it on at that point. Well, why didn't he turn it on at that point? Because they wouldn't even have needed to remove the damn camera, because he had a jammer. You know? I think the jammer and the electricity thing is complete bullshit. Okay? Now, the electricity box, I guess is possible. They made an attempt. Didn't work. They go to the house. Oh, the lights are still on. Ah, screw it. You know, that's all I can give you on that one. I just don't believe in any of the crap about there being a jammer. How does that make sense to anybody? I feel like what happened here is the neighbors were sitting around, and one of them looked at a video, and then the police were asking questions. Hey, did you guys have any? And they're like, yeah, me too. And they all wanted to jump on board with having this thing that they noticed. Yeah, because they're all awake at 2:30 in the morning, looking at their, hey, everybody, stay up tonight. We don't know what might be happening. Let's all stare at our router for a few minutes. Oh, look at that thing. It's blinking. Ooh, mark that down, honey. We don't know what's happening in this neighborhood. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to leave now, you guys. It's just like talking to a brick wall again. Yikes. I can't stand it. All right, anyways, thanks. Wild Bill Wassman. Then we had Kim from Rochester. Don't forget Marty's Bar and Grill with a couple buckets of coffee in there. Very kind, very kind. Thank you. And then we have Alley Cake. And then we have Crowley 13. I don't know what you're talking about. They should give us more information. Michelle H., Sandy Will, Sasquatch 207, Joel Burnt. Sasquatch did 5 gifted memberships. I think that was the challenge. Then Jim Lawn did 5. Then Mary Melinda. Then we had Alley Cake. And then Sarge with the joke that said, a preacher said, the Bible mentions everything a man has to deal with. A guy answers, oh yeah, what about PMS though? The preacher reads from his Bible and says, and Mary rode Joseph's ass all the way to Bethlehem. And then we got Alley Cake. Why does it get like that in here, you guys? I'm talking and chatting, and not one soul comments for 5 minutes. It's just, I've told you guys this a million times. I just don't want to keep doing the show when it gets like that. And then we've got Alley Cake, and then we got Wild Bill Wassman, Jessica Schubach, Cheryl Bullock, and then Sandy Will did a challenge too. So that must have been after the 10 were met of Marty's challenge. And then we had Sandy Will did the 5, then Adrian, then Wild Bill Wassman, Bengal Cat Chili, Sandy Will, Lori Fisher, Jim Lawn, Alley Cake, Sandy Will, Wild Bill Wassman, Jim Lawn, I'm Essential. I think these are part of the 20 that Marty did. Bad Wheels, Jim Lawn, Wild Bill Wassman, Sandy Will, I'm Essential, gifted 5 again. Thank you so much. Then Bad Wheels, this account. Are you guys all asleep or something? I mean, it's just amazing. Ivan set up, he did his LOL 8 comments ago, and that was 10 minutes ago. Wild Bill Wassman, Elaine Talling, and then we had Jim Lawn gifted 5. Then I just gifted 5 at the end after we reached it. And that was at 9:30. It's now 9:48. There wasn't one super chat or gifted membership in that last hour and 15 minutes. Isn't that crazy? Hello? Anybody there? That seems kind of like a too short of an antenna on that. God, it's ridiculous in here, you guys. All right, I'm going to get going. All right, thanks, everybody. See you later. As I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Yikes. Yeah, the trolls, they just can't control themselves. That's the same person that just commented. The same jackass that comments over and over again, spending their whole day creating new accounts to make more comments. So moderators, if you could please monitor those and get rid of them, that would be great. Thanks. I had to spend the entire day by myself removing like 60 of them. All right? Thank you. Oh, there's no music? Oh. That's right. It must have... Nobody... See, that shows you how low the participation is. That not one soul mentioned that you couldn't even hear the music. I don't care how old the account is. That's pretty new. I think what they're using is multiple... Like somebody's current account to do that. Yeah. And Jesus, you guys didn't even say you couldn't hear anything. Oh boy. Forget it.